Chapter 543, Criticizing the Dishes, 1, U. TED by BXN0VL. C. Omicron M. Saint Spirit Sky, First Grade Fragrance. Xiao Changtian slowly walked out from the kitchen. At this moment, Ling Xiaoxiao came to Xiao Changshan's side and said to him slowly, "Senior, how is it?" Xiao Changtian looked at the shopkeeper and said to Ling Xiaoxiao, "The shopkeeper will arrange a meal for us." Looking at Miss Ling's anxious appearance, it seemed that she was tired from the journey and hungry. The shopkeeper felt Xiao Changshan's gaze and smiled at Ling Xiaoxiao. "Miss Ling, if you had told me earlier that you brought a master, I wouldn't have let the master cook." At this moment, the shopkeeper, Ling Xiaoxiao, complained. In Hell Town, status was never determined by cultivation. Because if your culinary skills were good, it meant that you could quickly gain the favor of the Hellfire. Then, as long as your cultivation did not exceed the Hellfire, your status here would be lower than those who were good at cooking. Just like how the shopkeeper, a true immortal, could become the owner of a first-grade incense stick. Although there were golden immortals among the chefs behind him, they did not dare to be disrespectful to the shopkeeper. Because no one here could withstand the anger of a celestial king. If Xiao Changtian were to gain the favor of the Hellfire in the future, why was he so rude to him today? If Xiao Changtian wanted to deal with him, he would not be able to bear the consequences. Ling Xiaoxiao was also stunned when she heard the shopkeeper's words. Then, he said to Xiao Changtian, "Senior." Xiao Changtian felt Ling Xiaoxiao's gaze and said slowly, "It's nothing. I just made a dish." Actually, it wouldn't be wrong for this shopkeeper to call him master. His cooking skills were rated as master level by the system. At this moment, the shopkeeper said to Xiao Changtian and Ling Xiaoxiao, "Please follow me." As soon as he finished speaking, the shopkeeper brought Ling Xiaoxiao and Xiao Changtian to an elegant private room. The window of the private room was a fake mountain with all kinds of beautiful scenery. Obviously, the shopkeeper had also brought Xiao Changtian and the others to the private room that had been prepared. Xiao Changtian and Ling Xiaoxiao were sitting in the private room while the shopkeeper was waiting for them. Then, a chef came up with his favorite dish. "Senior, this is the buffalo pickled cabbage soup I just made for you. Please try it." Seeing the chef serve the dishes, Xiao Changtian also picked up the chopsticks and bowls on the table. He scooped a bowl for Ling Xiaoxiao, Lin Ruomiao, and the others. After the conversation with the shopkeeper, Ling Xiaoxiao understood that Xiao Changtian was a master in cooking. He didn't expect Xiao Changtian to be so powerful, and his cooking skills were also so profound. At this moment, Ling Xiaoxiao didn't dare to ask Xiao Changtian to scoop soup for her. And this soup, if it was under normal circumstances, he wouldn't have the chance to drink it. This was because the chef of first-grade fragrance had his own pride. Although they were first-grade chefs, not everyone could make them cook. For example, the chef in front of him was called White Hair. He specialized in cooking for Hellfire. Ever since she started eating first-grade incense, she had never had the chance to eat anything he cooked. Since Senior was able to make these chefs cook, it meant that his culinary skills were far beyond his imagination. Ling Xiaoxiao said to Xiao Changtian slowly, "Senior, I'll do it myself." Xiao Changtian smiled at Ling Xiaoxiao when he heard her words. "It's all right." Then, he scooped up a bowl of soup and slowly put it into his mouth. When the white-haired chef saw Xiao Changshan's actions, he was also looking forward to his comments. Xiao Changtian slowly said, "This one lacks seasoning." He could clearly feel that there shouldn't have been any seasonings put in here. When the white-haired man heard Xiao Changshan's words, he didn't react in time. He looked at Xiao Changtian and said slowly, "Senior, may I ask what the seasoning is?" Hearing the white-haired man's words, Xiao Changtian smiled at him. When he was barbecuing in the small courtyard, Jiu and the others were also shocked and they took out the seasoning. It seemed that the chefs in the cultivation world didn't really use seasonings. Then, Xiao Changtian took out a few bottles of seasoning from his space ring. He slowly handed it to the white-haired man and said to him, "These seasonings will taste better when you cook in the future." The white-haired man looked at the condiments that Xiao Changtian handed over and felt a little excited. Wasn't this seasoning used by Xiao Changtian when he made the egg fried rice? Senior actually gave him such a precious thing. At this moment, the white-haired man looked at Xiao Changtian and was touched. He said to Xiao Changtian slowly, "Thank you, Senior." "No need." Xiao Changtian waved his hand at the white-haired man. He had only come here to eat egg fried rice. No matter what, he had paid the chef for free. It was not bad to give him some seasonings. Anyway, these seasonings were not worth much. The chefs who came in later also received different degrees of guidance from Xiao Changtian. Soon, Xiao Changtian was about to leave first-grade incense with the shopkeeper. After Xiao Changtian came here, he understood why Leng Xiaoxiao said this was the best store. Although the dishes cooked by the chefs here didn't taste good, they were very studious. Willing to listen to the suggestions of the guests and learn from them. Xiao Changtian believed that this restaurant would definitely be able to do better in the near future. When Xiao Changtian was about to leave, the shopkeeper took out a purple gold card from his pocket and handed it to Xiao Changtian. "Senior, this is the VIP card for first-grade fragrance." Xiao Changtian looked at the purple gold card handed over by the shopkeeper and took it. Xiao Changtian knew that it was a purple gold card. Wasn't this the VIP card from his previous life? This was also a way for the restaurant to promote their sales. Leng Xiaoxiao and Leng Mei looked at the purple card in Xiao Changshan's hand and were shocked. Others might not recognize it, but as the spiritual race's patriarch, Leng Xiaoxiao definitely recognized it. With this card, Xiao Changtian could come here to eat for free at any time. He could even make first-grade fragrance promote him to a certain extent. The shopkeeper saw Xiao Changtian take the purple card and smiled as he sent them off. After Xiao Changtian left, the shopkeeper said to the waiter beside him, "Inform the people of first-grade fragrance to show 120% respect to this master when they meet him in the future. Help me keep an eye on first-grade incense. I'll go look for Lord Hellfire." After the waiter heard the shopkeeper's words, he immediately went down to carry it out. After the waiter left, a plate of egg fried rice appeared in the shopkeeper's hands. Chapter 544, Master Chef Meeting, 1, in the Saint Spirit Sky, in a pavilion decorated with lanterns. At this moment, in a luxurious private room in the attic, Hellfire was lying on a fragrant bed. At this moment, a sound came from outside the door. "Enter." The Hellfire glanced at the door and saw the manager of first-grade fragrance walk in. "Sanji, you're here. Is there any new ingredient for first-grade fragrance?" At this moment, Hellfire also went straight to the point. Sanji waved his hand when he heard the Hellfire's words. The egg-fried rice made by Xiao Changtian appeared in his hand. "Lord Hellfire, take a look at this." As he spoke, Sanji presented the egg-fried rice to the Hellfire. The Hellfire looked at the egg-fried rice in front of him with surprise. He stretched out his hand and a ball of flame appeared in his palm. It brushed past the plate in Sanji's hand, grabbed a handful of rice from the plate, and ate a few mouthfuls. Not bad, not bad. When the rice entered his mouth, the Hellfire's lazy appearance disappeared. He sat up straight on the bed. He took the egg-fried rice from Sanji's hands and ate it all. Yes, it tastes great." After eating the entire plate of egg-fried rice, Hellfire looked as if he had not had enough. Previously, he had only eaten high-grade ingredients, but in order to maximize their effects. During the cooking process, some of the flavors contained in the ingredients had to be discarded. However, today's simple egg-fried rice not only preserved the efficacy of the ingredients, but also tasted excellent. "Sanji, who did this? This king wants to reward him greatly." As he spoke, the Hellfire was already a little excited. Sanji heard the Hellfire's words and said slowly, "Lord Hellfire, this wasn't made by our first-grade chef. It was made by a chef that Leng Xiaoxiao brought." Leng Xiaoxiao. When the Hellfire heard this name, it pondered for a moment. Then, a beautiful figure appeared in his mind. So it's that girl. Unfortunately, she's too cold. The Hellfire usually liked to listen to beautiful women playing music. However, he had an empty appearance and a cold personality. Lord Hellfire, do you want me to invite him over? When Hellfire heard Sanji's words, he slowly stood up from the bed. How did he cook this egg-fried rice? This, Lord Hellfire, he made it with first-grade incense leftovers and an old black pot. To be honest, if he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Sanji wouldn't have dared to speak nonsense here. When Hellfire heard Sanji's words, he turned around and said slowly, "What did you say?" "I just ate leftovers." "Can leftovers have that effect?" As he spoke, the Hellfire also contained a trace of anger. In his opinion, Sanji must be toying with him. Sanji saw the angry look on Hell Gunpowder's face and slowly explained, "It's true, Lord Hellfire. Even a first-grade incense chef can testify." Seeing Sanji's nervous expression, he didn't seem to be lying to him. The Hellfire slowly released him and said, "Pass down the order. The town will hold the Master Chef competition in the next few days. The champion of the competition can compete with me in the end. Regardless of the result, he will be Helltown's honored guest in the future." Hearing Hellfire's words, Sanji hurriedly said to him, "Lord Hellfire, I will pass down the instructions." Sanji looked at Hellfire's thoughtful expression and didn't know what he was thinking. Then, he retreated. Helltown. After Xiao Changtian and Ling Xiaoxiao left first-grade incense, Xiao Changtian said to Ling Xiaoxiao slowly, "Miss Leng, the chef you mentioned, where should we go to find him?" After the meal, Xiao Changtian was about to get down to business. There were hundreds of people on this island waiting for him to find a chef to cook. Ling Xiaoxiao smiled sweetly at Xiao Changtian. "Senior, let's go to a friend's house first. I haven't been here for a long time, so I need to talk to her." When she was at first-grade incense, Ling Xiaoxiao knew that she could find the Hellfire very quickly through the three rulers. However, first-grade fragrance had a condition for meeting Hellfire. That was to compete with Hellfire in cooking. If he failed, he would have to become Hellfire's chef in first-grade fragrance. Hellfire was known as the most powerful chef in the entire human realm upon heavens. Ling Xiaoxiao did not dare to let Xiao Changtian take this risk. Xiao Changtian nodded at Ling Xiaoxiao after hearing her words. Then, under Ling Xiaoxiao's lead, they slowly walked towards another direction in the town. Soon, under Ling Xiaoxiao's lead, Xiao Changtian and the others arrived in front of a house. There were two big words written on the house, "The Han family." At this moment, Ling Xiaoxiao also walked to the front of the Han family's door and knocked on it. A maid poked her head out from the Han clan estate. "Hello, I'm looking for Han Yu. Please inform her that Ling Xiaoxiao is here." When the maid heard Ling Xiaoxiao's words, she said to her, "You wait here first. I'll go and inform them." After a while, a beautiful figure appeared in Xiao Changshan's field of vision. "Sister Leng, you're here." Han Yu walked out from the main door of the mansion and said excitedly to Ling Xiaoxiao when she saw her, "Sister Han, these are my friends." When Han Yu heard Ling Xiaoxiao's words, she also looked at Xiao Changtian and the others. Then, he said to them, "Everyone, follow me." Subsequently, under Han Yu's arrangements, Xiao Changtian and the others also stayed in the Han clan. In Han Yu's small courtyard, Ling Xiaoxiao also revealed the purpose of her trip. When Han Yu heard Ling Xiaoxiao's words, she also slowly said to her, "Young master, Sister Leng, I will help you keep an eye on this matter." Xiao Changtian heard Han Yu's words and slowly said to her, "Thank you for your trouble, miss." At this moment, a female servant walked in from outside. She slowly said to Han Yu, "Miss, the master wants you to go over." When Han Yu heard the maid's words, she stuck out her tongue at Ling Xiaoxiao. "Sister Leng, you guys play first. I'll go take a look first." Then, Han Yu followed the maid to the hall of the Han family. At the same time, a group of people slowly appeared outside the Han family's main gate. When the pedestrians saw this group of people, they consciously took a detour. It was because the logo on the car represented a family from Hell Town. The Mo family. At this moment, a figure slowly alighted from a small carriage pulled by a few mutated beasts. Chapter 545, Who Are You? 1. Saint Spirit Sky, Han Clan. At this moment, in the hall of the Han family, Han Yu and a white-haired old man stood to the side. Opposite them were a few old men in red. There was also a slightly younger man with a medal on his chest, and the way he stood in front of the old man, it would also expose his identity as the young master of the Mo family, Mo Xian. Uncle, what do you think of my suggestion? At this moment, Mo Xian was also looking at Han Yu, who was opposite him. His eyes were filled with some heat. Seeing Mo Xian looking at her without hiding it, Han Yu was also a little angry. The Han family and the Mo family were two first-rate families in Hell Town. For many years, although the two families had conflicts with each other, their strength was equal, and neither of them had much advantage. However, Mo Xian had used some unknown means to participate in the Master Chef competition organized by Hellfire. Moreover, he had obtained a good ranking among them and was praised by the elders of the Hell sect. Thus, it also caused the Mo family's power to soar. Although Han Yu had already expected that the Mo family would make things difficult for their Han family, she didn't expect him to come so soon and marry her. The old man beside Han Yu was also Han Yu's father, the current clan head of the Han clan, Han Feng. Han Feng was caught off guard by the Mo family's suggestion. He thought that the Mo family would come to threaten him with something else, but he did not expect the Mo family to directly want to marry his only daughter. If he had known that this was the case, he would not have let Shane come over. After all, there were no males in the entire Han clan. As long as he married his daughter, Han Yu, then it was only a matter of time before he annexed the Han family. At this moment, Han Feng slowly said to Mo Xian, "Nephew Mo Xian, this matter came too suddenly. Why don't you go back first and uncle will give you a reply in a few days. After all, I only have one precious daughter. I can't be too hasty about marriage, right?" When Mo Xian heard Han Feng's words, he also understood that this was Han Feng's excuse. He then slowly said to Han Feng, "Uncle Han, I won't hide it from you. I've already become the disciple of the fourth elder. Uncle, do you think that I'm not worthy of your daughter?" As he spoke, Mo Xian also looked at Han Yu with a smile on his face. "And Miss Han Yu, do you think there's a better match than me?" When Han Yu heard Mo Xian's words, she also clenched her jade-like hands tightly and did not say anything. She had thought that Mo Xian had only received fourth elder's praise. She did not expect him to become fourth elder's disciple so quickly. This way, as long as there was no reasonable reason, he would reject it. If that was the case, then the fight would not be for the Mo family's reputation, but for the Hell sect. Hell's Gate was a colossus in Hell Town and even the entire Saint Spirit Sky. If they slapped the Hell sect in the face, their Han family would not be long from being exterminated. At this moment, Han Feng was also in a dilemma. At the same time, Xiao Changshan's figure slowly appeared in the hall. He waved his hand at Han Yu in the hall. Han Yu was also stunned when she saw Xiao Changtian suddenly appear outside the hall. Not only Shane, but everyone in the hall was stunned. This person looked unfamiliar. "Uncle Han, what is this place?" Mo Xian looked at Xiao Changtian outside the hall and spoke to Han Feng slowly. When Han Yu saw Xiao Changtian who had suddenly appeared, she also thought of something. He slowly walked towards Xiao Changtian and said, "Young Master Xiao, why are you here?" "Miss Han, may I ask where your toilet is?" Xiao Changtian came here by accident. After coming out of the small courtyard, he could not find a single toilet in the entire Han family compound. This rich family was indeed different. It was difficult to even find a toilet. As for the people in the mansion, they all looked at him strangely. After that, Xiao Changtian walked around the mansion and came to the front of the hall. Seeing that he barely knew Han Yu, he also wanted to ask her. After all, people had 3 urgent needs. When Han Yu heard Xiao Changshan's words, her expression was also a little strange. At their current level, they had already reached the level of fasting. Usually, even if he occasionally ate, he could still digest it by circulating his cultivation. There was no need for a toilet. However, in order to leave the hall as soon as possible, Han Yu slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "Young master, please follow me." Just as Han Yu was about to leave with Xiao Changtian, Mo Xian grabbed Xiao Changshan's arm. She slowly said to him, "This person looks unfamiliar. Who is he?" Seeing Han Yu walking so close to a man, Mo Xian looked at Xiao Changtian with an unfriendly gaze. Xiao Changtian was grabbed by Mo Xian. He turned around and swung his arm. Immediately, Mo Xian felt his body stagger. He took a few steps back before stabilizing himself. Damn it, how could he lose to the other men in front of Han Yu? With this thought in mind, Mo Xian walked up to Xiao Changtian and said slowly, "Do you know who I am?" Although this person had some strength, he looked unfamiliar. He definitely had no background. As long as he revealed his identity, he would obediently become his lackey. Xiao Changtian looked at Mo Xian in front of him and was a little angry. "Who are you? Who was this person? Did he know that people had 3 urgent needs?" It was really annoying. Mo Xian had a smile on his face when Xiao Changtian pushed him. His body was also sent flying to the side, and with a bang, he also crashed into a rock of the Han family. Han Yu looked at Xiao Changtian with surprise. Just as he was about to say something, he heard Xiao Changtian say slowly, "Miss Han, take me there." Han Yu nodded her head when she heard Xiao Changshan's words. It was not that the Han family did not have a toilet, but there was only one. When Han Yu brought Xiao Changtian to the toilet, the Mo family elder who was in the hall walked out. When they saw Mo Xian lying on the ground, they slowly said to Han Feng, who had followed them, "Patriarch Han, look at what your Han family has done." Han Feng saw Mo Xian lying on the ground with his head bleeding. For some reason, she felt much better. He slowly said to the Mo family, "Nephew Mo, are you all right?" At this moment, Mo Xian slowly stood up from the ground and said to the elder beside him, "Elders, you must capture that brat. We can't let him go." When the few Mo family elders heard Mo Xian's words, they were also prepared to stand up and make a move. At this moment, Mo Xian saw Xiao Changtian walking back with Han Yu. He pointed at Xiao Changtian and said to the elders of the Mo family, "Elders, it's him." Chapter 546, Is Any Reward Really Fine? 1. Saint Spirit Sky, Han Clan. Mo Xian pointed at Xiao Changtian and said slowly to the elders beside him, "Elders, capture him." Hearing Mo Xian's words, a few elders also charged towards Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian looked at the few old men walking towards him and walked over as if nothing had happened. Whoosh! Just as the elders of the Mo family were about to attack Xiao Changtian, the ant on Xiao Changshan's shoulder also emitted a silvery white light. Under the effect of the silver white light, a few elders of the Mo family also passed through Xiao Changshan's body. What was going on? The few elders of the Mo family looked at each other and saw the shock in their eyes. Then, he turned around and saw Xiao Changtian, who was already in front of Mo Xian. "Wow, this guy." Xiao Changtian looked at Mo Xian in front of him and said slowly, "Hey, are you okay? Why did you look for me just now?" It had only been a short while, and he had already gone to the toilet. This fellow was so careless. Mo Xian looked at Xiao Changtian in front of him and couldn't help but take a few steps back. "You! Don't come over." Seeing Xiao Changshan's gaze, Mo Xian's eyes were filled with fear. At this moment, a few elders also came to Mo Xian's side. She whispered into his ear, "Young master, this person is very powerful. It's better for us to go back and think about it." When they attacked Xiao Changtian just now, they realized that they couldn't touch him at all. They looked at Xiao Changtian as if they were facing a great enemy. Mo Xian heard the elder's voice transmissions and gritted his teeth. He said fiercely to Xiao Changtian, "Just you wait." After saying this, Mo Xian left the Han family with the help of a few Mo family elders. Xiao Changtian was also a little dumbfounded when he saw Mo Xian leaving in a hurry. Then, he turned around and slowly said to Han Yu, "Miss Han, who was that just now?" Han Yu smiled at Xiao Changtian when she heard his words. From Leng Xiaoxiao's side, she also noticed that Leng Xiaoxiao didn't treat Xiao Changtian like a servant. Instead, he was respectful. At that time, she felt that Xiao Changtian was not a simple person. At this moment, after hearing Xiao Changshan's words, he slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, that was Mo Xian from the Mo family." As she spoke, Han Yu was also observing the change in Xiao Changshan's expression. Xiao Changshan's expression didn't change when he heard about the Mo family. He secretly heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that this senior did not take the Mo family seriously at all. In that case, the Han family. Han Yu slowly said to Xiao Changtian when she thought of this, "Senior, please help me." Xiao Changtian was also a little dumbfounded when he heard Han Yu suddenly ask for his help. This was fine. Why did he have to help? Although he had doubts in his heart, Xiao Changtian still hurriedly supported Han Yu. "Miss Han, if you have anything to say, let's talk it out. There's no need to be like this. He was just a mortal and could not help much. If he could help, he would definitely help him solve it. After all, the other party had also provided him with accommodation." At this moment, Han Feng slowly arrived beside Han Yu. What are you doing?" Although Han Feng didn't know where Xiao Changtian came from, he could tell that Xiao Changtian was different. When the few elders of the Mo family were dealing with Xiao Changtian, he had also caught a little bit of the power of space. However, no matter how powerful Xiao Changtian was, he couldn't possibly be stronger than the Hellfire. As long as they were not stronger than the Hellfire, it was useless to be stronger here. "Dad, if Senior is willing to participate in the God of Cookery competition, then our Han family might have a chance of survival." When Han Feng heard Han Yu's words, he wanted to say something. At this moment, Leng Xiaoxiao also walked out from the side. He saw Xiao Changtian and Han Yu, as well as some remnant auras in the courtyard. He also came to Xiao Changtian and Han Yu's side and slowly said to them, "Senior, Sister Han, what happened?" Han Feng saw Leng Xiaoxiao and smiled at her. Now, he understood why Xiao Changtian would come to the Han family. It turned out that he had come with Leng Xiaoxiao. At this moment, Han Feng also pulled Leng Xiaoxiao to the side. He told her about what had just happened. Hearing that Han Yu wanted to invite Xiao Changtian to participate in the God of Cookery competition, Leng Xiaoxiao also looked at Xiao Changtian. Then, he slowly said to Han Feng, "Uncle Han, I won't hide it from you. Senior has just obtained a first-grade incense purple gold card. I can't be sure if Senior wants to take action." Han Feng wanted to persuade Leng Xiaoxiao to persuade Han Yu to think of a better way. When he heard Leng Xiaoxiao mention the first-grade fragrance purple gold card, he swallowed his words. Now, he understood that the person before him was not from the spiritual race. Instead, he was the one Leng Xiaoxiao called Senior. At this moment, Han Feng also hurried to Xiao Changshan's side and smiled at him. "I didn't know that Grandmaster had arrived, so I didn't welcome you. Please forgive me, Senior." At this moment, Xiao Changtian also looked at Leng Xiaoxiao. Leng Xiaoxiao explained to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, Uncle Han is very respectful to the cooking masters in the Ruda Empire." Hearing Leng Xiaoxiao's words, Xiao Changtian understood. No wonder Han Yu and Han Feng were so polite to him. They were also gourmets. At this moment, Xiao Changtian slowly said to Han Yu and Han Feng, "I only know how to cook a few home-cooked dishes. It can't be considered a real skill. In the cultivation world, what was the use of his cooking skills? In the immortal cultivation world, having a big fist was the absolute principle. No matter how good your cooking is, if you meet some immortal cultivators who don't like you, they can still beat you to death at any time. Seeing Xiao Changshan's humble appearance, Han Feng also led Xiao Changtian into the hall. After sitting down in the hall, Xiao Changtian slowly said to Han Yu, "Miss Han, what trouble did you encounter just now?" When Han Yu heard Xiao Changshan's words, she slowly said to him, "Senior, this Mo Xian is proficient in cooking. Our Han family has already been defeated by him. I wonder if I can trouble you to show off your skills and represent the Han family to participate in the God of Cookery competition." As she spoke, Han Yu was also a little nervous. Han Feng, who was standing at the side, hurriedly added, "As long as Senior is willing, our Han clan is willing to pay any price." Han Yu nodded at this moment. "Miss Han, is it really okay for you to pay me anything?" Xiao Changtian said slowly to Han Yu. Chapter 547, Participating in the Master Chef Competition. Saint Spirit Sky, Han Clan. At this moment, in the hall of the Han Clan, Han Yu nodded to Xiao Changtian after hearing his words. Seeing that Han Feng did not speak, Xiao Changtian slowly said to Han Yu, "Then exchange it with your most precious thing." This Han family was a well-off family. He thought back to the time when he had no money to eat at first-grade fragrance. Xiao Changtian also wanted to earn some money as soon as possible. Otherwise, it would be hard for him to live in the future. In any case, such a big family, giving him a little money wouldn't make much of a difference. When Han Yu heard Xiao Changshan's words, she also blushed slightly. His most precious thing, Senior's meaning. After Han Feng and Leng Xiaoxiao heard Xiao Changshan's words, their expressions changed and they looked at Xiao Changtian with a strange expression. Xiao Changtian frowned when he felt their gazes. As the saying goes, a gentleman loves money and takes it in a proper way. I'm not stealing or robbing. I'm asking you for money to participate in a cooking competition. It didn't seem too much. At this moment, Han Feng wanted to stand up and say something. Han Yu, who was beside him, took the lead and slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, I'm willing to be your maid. Please represent the Han family in the competition." When Han Feng heard Han Yu's words, he wanted to say something to her. Han Yu glared at him and did not say anything. Maid? He already had Jiu. What was the point of having a maid? At this moment, Xiao Changtian slowly said to Han Yu, "I already have a maid." Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, everyone in the hall was stunned. Was Senior rejecting him? As Shane thought this, her face turned even redder. "I say, old master, what I mean is that you're a wealthy family. It's not too much to give me some money, right?" When Han Feng heard Xiao Changshan's words, he was also a little stunned. Then, he smiled at Xiao Changtian and said, Oh, there's no problem with that." As he spoke, Han Feng hurriedly took out a bag of spirit stones from his interspatial ring. He handed it to Xiao Changtian and said slowly, "Senior, this is a small token of my appreciation. Please accept it." Then, as if she wasn't worried enough, she said to the maids outside the door, "The few of you, go to the storeroom and get the spirit stones." If he knew that Xiao Changtian wanted spirit stones, Han Feng would have given him as many as he wanted. When Leng Xiaoxiao heard that Xiao Changtian wanted spiritual stones, she felt relieved for some reason. After some small talk, Xiao Changtian also took a bag of spirit stones from Han Feng. In the end, he agreed to help the Han family participate in the competition. After Xiao Changtian learned that the hellfire he was looking for would attend the God of Cookery competition, he had to find a way out. He was also happy that he would participate in the God of Cookery competition. It was simply killing two birds with one stone. Not only did he earn money, but he could also find his own chef. Following that, Xiao Changtian was also arranged by Han Feng to stay in the Han family compound. At the same time, in a pavilion, Hellfire sat at the top of the private room, and on both sides of the room were a few tables. On the table, there were various dishes and wine, and there were elders dressed in flame robes sitting on it. The people present were all elders of the Hell sect, just like the Hellfire. Those who could enter the gate of Hell were either master chefs or gourmets. Moreover, there were geisha who came from various forces as tribute. In the middle of the private room, a geisha was dancing, attracting the attention of most of the audience. At this moment, Hellfire, who was sitting at the head of the table, said slowly, "Everyone, the Hell sect is holding the God of Cookery competition this time to envelop talents. Everyone here is a core member of our Hell sect and hopes to build the glory of the Hell sect with me." When the elders of the Hell sect heard the Hellfire's words, they raised their wine cups and toasted the Hellfire. Hellfire replied. At this time, he also slowly said to Sanji, "Who are the participants this time?" When Sanji heard Xiao Changshan's words, he also began to recite in the private room. Mo family, Mo Xian. Han family, Xiao Changtian. Hearing the voices, Hellfire said to the various elders below, "Everyone, go and prepare. I hope that this God of Cookery competition will be more glorious than the previous ones." As soon as he finished speaking, the various elders began to prepare. After the elders left, Hellfire slowly said to Sanji, "Did the person you mentioned participate?" When Sanji heard Hellfire's words, he said to Hellfire in fear, "Sir, that person's strength shouldn't be low." Hearing Sanji's words, Hellfire sighed. "Forget it. Whether we have fate or not will depend on this God of Cookery competition. Keep an eye on the God of Cookery competition." As Hellfire finished speaking, Sanji quickly went down to handle it. At this moment, in a square of the God of Cookery competition, the Master Chef competition was a grand event in Hell Town, and the square was already surrounded by a lot of spectators. Who do you think will win the God of Cookery competition this time? Yes, I think Mo Xian of the Mo family has a high chance of winning this time. It's said that he's already been accepted as a disciple by the fourth elder of the underworld sect. Yes, I think he is. At this moment, the audience started whispering. Every chef god competition would be accompanied by the rise and fall of a force. This concerned the power they would rely on in the future. Therefore, the discussion was very intense. It looks like the Mo family is about to rise. It looks like he won't be able to persist for long. At this moment, some cultivators began to feel sorry for the Han family. At this time, the cultivators who came to participate in the God of Cookery meet also entered the venue one after another. Then, a cultivator pointed in a direction above the square. "Look, the Mo family is here." Upon hearing this cultivator's words, the other cultivators also looked in the direction of the Mo family. At this moment, Mo Xian also walked into the venue with his head held high. Mo Xian scanned his surroundings but did not find any traces of the Han family. He had thought that the Han family would come. In that case, he would wait until he won the championship of this branch. At that time, he would settle the score with the Han family. Thinking back to the Han family's appearance in front of Han Yu, Mo Xian felt a wave of shame. As Mo Xian sat in his seat, Han Feng, Xiao Yan, and the others slowly appeared in front of everyone. Chapter 548:1 will deal with those people. 1. Utted by Bexenville. CM Saint Spirit Sky, the square of the branch of the God of Cookery meeting. When the people around the square saw Han Feng bringing Xiao Changtian and the others over, they began to whisper among themselves. "Look, the Han family is also here. I thought the Han family had given up. This way, there's something to see." As a first-class family in the small town, how can the Han family be willing to compare to the Mo family? I wonder who the Han family will send. At this moment, everyone present was also watching from the Han family's team. The people inside did not see a famous chef. At this moment, Mo Xian also saw the group of people from the Han family. Mo Xian's expression turned cold when he saw Han Yu and Xiao Changtian standing together. Then, He slowly walked towards Xiao Changtian. Uncle Han, your Han family is participating in the God of Cookery competition this time. Who will you send? Could it be this brother? As he spoke, Mo Xian suddenly had a sense of arrogance as he looked at Xiao Changtian with a smile. Although Xiao Changtian was very strong, cooking was the most important thing in Hell Town. Mo Xian also wanted to suppress Xiao Changtian here so that he could regain some of his dignity. Xiao Changtian heard Mo Xian's words and said slowly, young master Mo really has good eyesight, even seeing that I want to participate. That's right, young master Mo, have you recovered from your head injury? As he spoke, Xiao Changtian also looked towards Mo Xian's head. There was a white sticker on his head. It seemed that he had been treated. When Mo Xian heard Xiao Changshan's words, his expression changed. This person looked young. In terms of cultivation, even the elders in the family could not compare to him. Then his culinary skills wouldn't be that good. After all, a person's energy was limited. How could this person have such deep attainments in two different fields? The Han family had probably bet on the wrong treasure this time. With this thought in mind, Mo Xian said coldly to Xiao Changtian, then I'm really looking forward to this brother's performance. Hearing this, Xiao Changtian smiled. At this moment, an old man slowly walked out from the square. When the old man appeared, he also said, this branch's general meeting will be led by this old man. All competitors, please draw lots and enter your own rooms to participate. As he spoke, the old man waved his hand, and the ground around the square shook. The tightly shut doors of the rooms appeared before everyone's eyes. At the center of the square, a huge disc appeared. There was a huge needle and a series of numbers on the disc. From the looks of it, whenever the needle pointed to a number, they would go to the corresponding room to cook. At this moment, Xiao Changtian sighed when he saw the old man's handiwork. It seemed that this small town really advocated good food and invited immortal cultivators to host the competition. Then, the contestants walked to the center of the square and placed their hands on the round plate. The needle on the disc spun and finally walked into his corresponding room. At this moment, Xiao Changtian slowly walked to the front of the round plate. Looking at the round plate, Xiao Changtian pressed it down with one hand. Whoosh! 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 The needle on the disc started to spin rapidly and finally stopped at the number 5. Room 5, Xiao Changtian. As the old man's voice rang out, Xiao Changtian slowly walked towards his room. After Mo Xian heard Xiao Changshan's room number, he let out a cold laugh. He looked at his room number, 3. Although the props and ingredients in different rooms were the same, cooking emphasized on absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. If they could not absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, they would be no different from ordinary people's food. The closer the rooms were to each other, the greater the competition for the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. After all, there was only so much spiritual energy in the world. The more spiritual energy one obtained during the competition, the more spiritual energy would be in the food. Soon, Xiao Changtian and the other contestants also entered their own rooms. There was a mirror above each room. What was reflected in the mirror was the situation of each player inside. At this moment, in the mirror, every contestant was using their own spiritual energy. To create one's own flame in a room, cooking skills had high requirements for flames. After Mo Xian entered the room, his hand gestures changed. A dark green flame appeared out of thin air. Then, he slapped the table in front of him. With a bang, the ingredients on the table flew into the air. His true essence covered his palm and waved in the air. He processed the ingredients and the ingredients floated above his flames. Outside the arena, the cultivators looked at Mo Xian and cheered. Although every contestant had their own methods, it seemed that Mo Xian was still better. At this moment, a cultivator saw Xiao Changtian in the room. He slowly said to everyone, "Look, that contestant from the Han family, what is he doing?" Hearing this, the other cultivators all looked at Xiao Changshan's room. Wow, he can't be learning how to cook from mortals, right? At this moment, someone exclaimed. At this moment, Xiao Changtian was looking at the ingredients in the room. He was also complaining in his heart. For this convention, there were all kinds of ingredients prepared, but there was not even a decent piece of firewood. Then, Xiao Changtian looked around the room, looking at the debris in front of him. After throwing them into the furnace, he muttered, "This should be barely enough." Then, Xiao Changtian took out a few matches from his interspatial ring. That's true. The cultivators of the Han family are too funny. Even if the Han family wants to compete with the Mo family, they should at least find a decent chef. The cultivators who supported the Mo clan also began to mock the Han clan. Han Feng heard the voices around him but did not respond. Looking at Xiao Changshan's behavior, he couldn't understand. At this moment, Lin Ruomio's voice sounded in Han Feng's ears. Master is only cultivating his heart in the mortal world and is unwilling to use spells. I will handle those people. If others looked down on her, she wouldn't care. But since it involved Xiao Changtian, Lin Ruomio wouldn't let them go over like this. When Han Feng suddenly heard Lin Ruomio's voice, he shuddered. He could clearly sense a murderous aura from Lin Ruomio's words just now. At this moment, Han Feng looked at Lin Ruomio with a sense of fear for some reason. Chapter 549, He's fighting for spiritual energy with Utted by Bexenville. CM Everyone present on his own, 1, Saint Spirit Sky, the square of the branch of the god of cookery meeting. Han Feng looked at Lin Ruomio beside him and nodded at her. Then, Lin Ruomio's figure disappeared from his sight. At the same time, the competition in the square was also going on like tea and fire. The rules of the competition were always the same. That was, in the room, no matter how you used the props and ingredients inside. As long as you could cook a dish and obtain the recognition of the Hell sect, you could win. This was also the most important moment of the entire dish. At this stage of cooking, one needed to absorb the air between heaven and earth into the dishes they made. The quality of ordinary dishes also depended on the amount of spiritual energy in the dishes. Whoosh! 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 The various competitors were also constantly fighting for the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. Meanwhile, Mo Xian was in his room, watching the spiritual qi between heaven and earth continuously gather towards his dishes. His face was also filled with smiles. Just as he had expected, that Han kid was completely clueless about cooking. At the very least, it could not be compared to his own. Most of the spiritual energy in this world was running towards him. One could imagine how much spiritual energy was contained in the dishes of that Han family's kid. Because of Xiao Changshan's unique cooking method, he also received a lot of attention. At this moment, those cultivators looked at Xiao Changtian with disappointment. In the beginning, some people thought that Xiao Changtian was just playing around. Who knew what kind of surprise he would get later on? He didn't expect that Xiao Changtian would only put his ingredients into the pot when everyone else was absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. At this moment, Xiao Changtian was in his room, looking at the ingredients in his pot. His face was also filled with satisfaction. After working for a while, he could finally rest. Now, he only needed to wait for the pot to be cooked. With that thought in mind, Xiao Changtian also picked up a pot lid from the side. After covering it, he also took a nap on a chair at the side. Sigh, I think this person has completely given up. He's really a good-for-nothing. A cultivator saw Xiao Changtian resting on a chair and mocked him. It seems so. The Han family's face has been completely ruined by him. How do you think the Han family will? Where is he? This cultivator was about to say something to the cultivators beside him. He realized that there was no one around him. Han Feng was currently in the crowd. He had been silently observing the changes in the crowd, completely ignoring the words of those people. He was also surprised to find that the cultivators who mocked Xiao Changtian disappeared every once in a while. The cultivators of the underworld sect did not notice any of this. Thinking of this, Han Feng broke out in cold sweat. He didn't need to think to understand that these people were all done by Lin Ruomiao. To be able to kill people under the nose of the Hell sect cultivators without anyone knowing. This ability was probably at least at the level of a golden immortal. And this was only Xiao Changshan's disciple, Xiao Changtian himself. Perhaps he was also a celestial king like the Hellfire. Thinking of an immortal king in his Han family, Han Feng was surprised and happy. As the cultivators who supported the Mo family disappeared, the Mo family began to sense that something was wrong. A Mo family cultivator slowly walked up to the head of the Mo family and whispered into his ear, "Patriarch, I don't know what happened. A few of our people suddenly disappeared." Disappeared? In a pavilion beside the square, the head of the Mo family was also stunned when he heard his disciples report. Instinctively, he looked in Han Feng's direction. Seeing Han Feng's figure in the crowd, he slowly said to the disciples beside him, "Pass down the order to take it easy. If someone tries to play tricks, you know what to do." When the disciple heard the words of the head of the Mo family, he immediately went down to carry out the order. The head of the Mo family looked down at Han Feng and no one knew what he was thinking. Han Feng's strength was about the same as his. If he made a move, it was impossible for him not to notice it. At this moment, a cry of surprise caught everyone's attention. "Look, the spiritual energy between heaven and earth." At this moment, everyone in the square sensed that the spiritual energy between heaven and earth was gathering in one place. That place seemed to be Xiao Changshan's room. What was going on? When the people around the square noticed the change in the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, Mo Xian, who was in the room, naturally sensed that something was wrong. At this moment, the spiritual energy flowing into his room was rapidly decreasing. "No!" At this moment, Mo Xian suddenly shouted. He was surprised to find that the spiritual energy in his room was not only decreasing. Moreover, the spiritual energy that he had already absorbed in his dishes also had a tendency to fly out. Mo Xian wasn't the only one who noticed this. The other contestants in their own rooms also discovered the same situation with their dishes. The cultivators present looked at the situation in each room. He couldn't understand why the spiritual energy of heaven and earth would go to Xiao Changshan's room. Xiao Changtian didn't do anything. It was just resting on the chair. Even the old man from the Hell sect who was presiding over the square felt the change in the spiritual energy between heaven and earth. He couldn't help but look at Xiao Changshan's room. The cultivators in the other rooms seemed to be unable to stop the loss of their spiritual energy no matter what they did. Not to mention fighting for the spiritual energy of others. Some people gave up because the situation today was too strange. Something must have happened outside. Han Feng watched as the spiritual qi between heaven and earth gathered in Xiao Changshan's room. Even though he knew Xiao Changtian was powerful before he came, he still couldn't help but be shocked. "Senior, this is using his own strength to compete for spiritual energy with everyone present." Moreover, it looked like it was effortless. At this moment, Xiao Changshan's position in Han Feng's heart rose several levels. At the same time, Lin Ruomiao's figure once again appeared beside Han Feng. Looking at the scene in Xiao Changshan's room, a beautiful smile appeared on her face. Han Feng sensed Lin Ruomiao's arrival and smiled at him. "Senior, you're back." Lin Ruomiao didn't say anything when she heard Han Feng's words. Xiao Changtian, who was in the room, slowly stood up from his chair. After stretching his back, he walked towards his own pot. At this moment, she should be fine. Chapter 550, Shift the Blame, 1, Utted by Bexenville. CM Saint Spirit Sky, the square of the branch of the god of cookery meeting. In Xiao Changshan's room, Xiao Changtian slowly walked towards the small pot. She opened the lid of the pot, picked up a spoon, and put it into her mouth. Not bad. This is the taste. Xiao Changtian said slowly as he tasted it. Then, he placed the pot on a plate at the side and slowly brought it out. As soon as he stepped out of his room, Xiao Changtian saw that all the participants were already outside. What was going on? Was he the last one? Then, Xiao Changtian ignored the contestants and walked up with his pot. I don't know which god killed him. He actually snatched all the spiritual power in my dishes. Me too. I don't know what happened, but I didn't give an explanation. The other contestants didn't bother with Xiao Changtian and were talking to each other. Although Xiao Changtian was carrying a small pot, they had seen someone try it before. Those who carried dishes without spiritual power were all eliminated. Xiao Changtian wasn't a cooking god. It seemed that another person was going to be eliminated. Soon, Xiao Changtian arrived in front of the old man. He placed the small pot on the table in front of him and waited for the old man to judge. Even if he was the last one to come out, his cooking skills were not faster than anyone else's. Xiao Changtian was confident that with his cooking skills, he would definitely get a good ranking. The old man looked at Xiao Changtian and smiled at him. Little friend, you are really young and promising. Then, he stood up and said to the cultivators below, I announce that this young friend will represent our region in the God of Cookery Association. Hearing the old man's voice, the participants gradually understood. So it was this guy who snatched our spiritual energy. How is that possible? This guy looks younger than us. How can he snatch our spiritual energy alone? Watch your words, watch your words. If that person hears you, aren't you courting death? Hearing the voices of persuasion around them, those cultivators slowly stopped cursing. At this moment, a figure came to Xiao Changtian and said slowly, I want to report him. This guy definitely cheated. Otherwise, how could he have fought for all of our spiritual energy? Hearing this somewhat angry voice, everyone also saw that Mo Xian had unknowingly appeared in front of Xiao Changtian. At this moment, the other contestants were also gloating at Xiao Changtian, as if they were watching a show. At this moment, the old man hosting the god of cookery meat also slowly said to Mo Xian, Are you doubting me? Upon hearing the old man's words, Mo Xian's gaze also changed. Although the people of the underworld sect were not to be offended, he was still the disciple of the fourth elder of the underworld sect. Thinking of this, Mo Xian bowed to the old man and said slowly, We just want a reasonable explanation. Xiao Changtian was also a little angry when he heard Mo Xian. Although he did not know why he won. However, it was too much to say that he cheated. Young man, it was okay to be competitive. However, he could not splash dirty water on others. With this thought in mind, Xiao Yan walked up to Mo Xian and said slowly, Then tell me, how did I cheat? Mo Xian heard Xiao Changshan's angry voice and recalled the situation in the Han family's courtyard. He took a few steps back in fear and pointed at Xiao Changtian, How would I know? You must have used something shameful, all right. At this moment, before Mo Xiaxian could finish speaking, another voice slowly sounded from the square. Then, everyone saw the head of the Mo family slowly land on the square. The head of the Mo family glared at Mo Xian. If he still did not come, the Mo family's reputation would probably be ruined by him after today. Everyone was watching how Xiao Changtian cooked just now. The elders of the Hell sect had also personally said that there was no problem. If she let Mo Xian continue, wouldn't she be making things difficult for herself? When Mo Xian saw that the head of the Mo family had arrived, he shut his mouth and did not dare to speak. At this moment, Mo Xian also arrived in front of Xiao Changtian and slowly said to him, Little friend, my son was rude just now. Following that, he slowly said to Mo Xian, come over and apologize to our young friend. Father. Mo Xian wanted to say something when he heard that the head of the Mo family wanted him to apologize to Xiao Changtian. However, when he saw the look in the Mo family head's eyes, he shut his mouth. He slowly walked to Xiao Changtian and said, "I'm sorry." Hearing Mo Xian's apology, Xiao Changtian waved his hand at them. It was understandable that young people were competitive, but they couldn't be like this. Fortunately, this old man seemed to be reasonable. After Mo Xian was restrained by the head of the Mo family, no one present came out to say anything. At this moment, the elder from the Hell sect also gave Xiao Changtian a token. "Little friend, with this, you can join the Master Chef Association." Xiao Changtian took the token from the old man and smiled at him. The Hellfire chef he was looking for was also there. After putting the token into his interspatial ring, Xiao Changtian walked towards the Han family. At this moment, the voice of the head of the Mo family rang out in the square. "Everyone, don't leave yet." As the head of the Mo family spoke, the cultivators of the Mo family slowly surrounded the square. When the elder from the Hell sect saw the actions of the Mo family head, he frowned and slowly said to him, "What are you doing?" When the head of the Mo family heard the elder's words, he smiled at him. "Elder Mo, I will need to take up some of your time." As he spoke, the head of the Mo family clapped his hands. Then, under everyone's gaze, a few Mo family disciples carried a few people out. Seeing the person carried out by the Mo family, the head of the Mo family said slowly to the elder of the Hell sect, "Elder Mo, this was discovered by a disciple of my Mo family nearby. As far as I know, these are all contestants who were going to participate in the competition. I don't know why they died in the alley." The Mo family head's words caused a commotion below. Although he did not know how his people disappeared for no reason. However, using this opportunity, he could also release the powerful competitors that he had secretly killed before. In this way, not only could he reduce his suspicion to the greatest extent, but he could also use his own strength to attack. Perhaps they could even find out who was dealing with their Mo family. Below, Lin Ruomiao looked at the corpse on the ground and clearly understood the Mo family's intentions. Chapter 551, Those who don't know might think he's fleeing to fear his guilt. 1, uttered by Bexenville. CM Saint Spirit Sky, the square of the branch of the god of cookery meeting. The surrounding cultivators looked at the corpses on the ground and broke out in cold sweat. No wonder they felt that their companions had suddenly disappeared. So he was killed. For a moment, everyone present felt insecure. Looking at the chaotic crowd below, the elder of the underworld sect shouted at them, "Everyone, don't panic. Everyone, think carefully. Did any suspicious people appear?" Upon hearing the elder's words, the cultivators quieted down and began to recall something. Xiao Changtian also came to Han Feng and Lin Ruomio's side. Xiao Changtian was shocked when he saw the corpses on the square. He did not expect so many people to be killed in broad daylight. He did not know who did it. At this moment, the disciple of the Mo family who was planted in the crowd shouted, "Everyone, think about it. If these contestants die, who will benefit the most?" The voice of the Mo family disciple slowly spread through the crowd. Then, the people around the square seemed to realize something. They all looked in the direction of Han Feng and Xiao Changtian. On the square, the head of the Mo family sneered when he saw that the cultivators were beginning to suspect the Han family. "You're right. I've always felt that the chef of the Han family was a little strange. Now that these contestants are dead, there is no one else who can compete with him. Perhaps the Han family has used some unspeakable means behind the scenes." Besides Xiao Changtian, Lin Ruomio's face turned cold when she heard their voices. Just as he was about to walk out, he felt his arm being pulled by Xiao Changtian. "Ruomiao, ignore them." Xiao Changtian slowly smiled at Lin Ruomiao. These people clearly saw that they had won the championship. She was jealous and wanted to slander him. If she went over to argue with them, wouldn't she appear to be the same as them? When Lin Ruomiao heard Xiao Changshan's words, she also looked coldly at the surrounding cultivators. Returning to Xiao Changshan's side, Han Feng slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, what should we do?" Others didn't know that Han Feng had just seen Lin Ruomiao disappear. Naturally, they thought that Lin Ruomiao was the one who killed those people. Xiao Changtian heard Han Feng's words and said slowly, "What can we do? We can just wait here." He was a mortal, and above him was an immortal cultivator. It was not his turn to investigate the murderer. As long as those cultivators had a brain, they would know that it was impossible for them to kill those people. Because even if he wanted to kill them, he didn't have the ability. At this moment, the elder of the Hell sect heard whispers from below. Yi Shi reached out and waved his hand. The crowd below slowly said, "All right, everyone, calm down. My Hell sect will investigate this matter thoroughly. It'll have to trouble everyone to make a trip to the gate of Hell." The death of a contestant in the God of Cookery meet was a big deal in Hell Town. As long as the murderer was caught, no matter what, the entire family would be executed. As soon as the old man finished speaking, a few cultivators from the Hell sect walked out from the side. He led everyone slowly towards the gate of Hell. At this moment, Han Feng couldn't help but say to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, are we going to the gate of Hell?" Xiao Changtian heard Han Feng's words and glanced at him. What was wrong with this old man? She was already so old, but why did she look even more afraid than him? Those who didn't know better would think that he had fled to avoid punishment. Of course, why not? It was said that the Hellfire chef was in the Hell Gate. If he could see him at the Hell sect, he wouldn't have to attend the God of Cookery Association. If he wanted to bring her there, why not? Han Feng heard Xiao Changshan's words and nodded to him. It seemed that he was overthinking. Although the Infernal Gate has the Celestial King Hellfire, Senior still dares to go. This meant that Senior wasn't afraid of Lord Hellfire at all. The family might even soar in his hands. The head of the Mo family was also among the crowd. Looking at Han Feng and Xiao Changtian, he sneered. Although he couldn't see through Xiao Changshan's strength, he knew that Xiao Changtian was a powerful figure. With Lord Hellfire, those corpses that he had specially handled would definitely harm the Han family. At that time, even if the Han family had any support, it would still be a dead end. Soon, under the lead of the disciples of the Underworld sect, Xiao Changtian and his group arrived at the mountain gate of the Underworld sect. Looking at the door in front of him, Xiao Changtian sighed in his heart. This gate of hell looked very imposing. Fortunately, the Hellfire didn't cost money. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to afford it. With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian also came to the gate of Hell. Under the lead of the disciples of the Hell sect, they arrived in front of a pavilion. "You guys wait here. Fourth Elder will personally interrogate you." As soon as he finished speaking, the disciples of the Underworld sect handed Xiao Changtian and the others over. At the same time, in the attic in the center of the Hell Gate, Hellfire sat on a bed and slowly said to Sanji, who was standing beside him, "Sanji, did that person appear?" Sanji shook his head slowly when he heard the Hellfire's words. "Lord Hellfire, according to the information we have gathered so far, that person hasn't appeared." According to the reports from his subordinates, there was no news of Xiao Changtian. When Hellfire heard Sanji's words, he sighed. At this moment, a disciple of the Hell sect also pulled a cart of ingredients up. He slowly bowed to the Hellfire and Sanji above and continued, "Milords, these are the dishes for the contestants that were just sent over. There are ingredients that Lord Sanji is interested in." Hearing this disciple's words, Sanji hurriedly walked over. He looked at the name list and the description of the contestants. Sanji also quickly handed the soup pot made by Xiao Changtian to Hellfire and said slowly, "Lord Hellfire, this is the dish that person made." According to the description of Xiao Changtian, Sanji was sure that this contestant was Xiao Changtian. When Hellfire heard Sanji's words, he quickly took the soup pot from Sanji. He picked up a spoon and put it into his mouth. "Wow!" The Hellfire let out a sound of enjoyment. Then, he praised her a few times, "Good. Good. That's great." Before this, he had eaten the dishes of several contestants. However, compared to Xiao Changshan's small pot of soup, they were trash. Xiao Changshan's cooking was simply his ideal type of food. Chapter 552, This Old Man is Definitely Scamming Me, 1, uttered by Bexenville. CM Saint Spirit Sky, Hell Gate. At this moment, an old man had appeared in front of Xiao Changtian and the others. From the clothes on the old man, it could be seen that this old man had a high status in the Hell sect. This person was the fourth elder of the Hell sect. The fourth elder looked at the crowd in front of him and slowly said, I more or less understand the situation on your side. I didn't expect someone to kill a contestant of the God of Cookery competition in broad daylight. This is simply challenging the authority of our Hell sect. Following which, fourth elder also saw Mo Xian in the crowd and slowly said to him, Mo Xian, come here. Mo Xian was delighted to hear fourth elder's words. He immediately walked to the fourth elder's side. Master. Mo Xian came to fourth elder's side and said to him flatteringly. I'll settle the score with you later. At this moment, fourth elder slowly transmitted his voice to Mo Xian. Your father suddenly has a plan. You know what to do, right? After sending a voice transmission to Mo Xian, the fourth elder cleared his throat and slowly said to him, Mo Xian, tell me, what's going on? At this moment, Mo Xian stood up straight and pointed at Xiao Changtian, Han Feng, and the others. Fourth elder, the God of Cookery competition this time is really strange. When that kid from the Han family participated in the competition, he actually took away everyone's spiritual energy. I suspect that there's a trap. Moreover, those missing people might be the handiwork of the Han family. Mo Xian's voice slowly sounded in the crowd. Everyone's gaze turned towards Han Feng and Xiao Changtian. After Han Feng felt the gazes around him, he panicked. This wasn't any other place. If he didn't do well, he might die here. Moreover, this fourth elder of the Hell sect was Mo Xian's master. It was obvious that he was targeting them. At this moment, Xiao Changtian also said to Han Feng, Old Master Han, don't worry. Leave it to me. Han Feng heard Xiao Changshan's words and didn't know why. Looking at Xiao Changshan's back, he was like a god. Senior, you are truly a peerless deity. At this moment, Xiao Changtian also walked to the front of the crowd and pointed at Mo Xian, I also have something to say. This brother just fell on his head a few days ago. What he said now is not very credible. I think we should find a doctor to take a look at him. Xiao Changtian pointed at his own head as he spoke. When he first saw him, Xiao Changtian thought that he was almost recovered. He didn't expect his brain to really fall sick. It was fine if they doubted him. After all, he had won the championship. There was always someone who wanted to smear his reputation. However, it was nonsense to say that he had taken away the spiritual energy. Why didn't he take a look at how a mortal like him could absorb spiritual energy? Besides, if he could absorb spiritual energy, why would he come here? When Mo Xian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he recalled the scene of him being pushed down by Xiao Changtian in the Han family. Just as he was about to say something, Xiao Changtian turned to Han Feng and said, Don't you think so, old Master Han? He fell at your house. At this time, Xiao Changtian also wanted to find someone to prove himself. Han Feng nodded his head when he heard Xiao Changshan's words. At this moment, everyone present was looking at Mo Xian with different gazes. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the surrounding gazes also fell on him. Mo Xian gritted his teeth and shouted angrily at Xiao Changtian, I'm going to kill you. As soon as he finished speaking, Mo Xian was about to shoot towards Xiao Changtian. Looking at Mo Xian who was coming towards him, Xiao Changtian also swung his taiji fist. He immediately flipped Mo Xian and threw him heavily on the ground. Wow, he was about to hit her just because she didn't get along. Fortunately, he knew a little martial arts. Otherwise, it would be hard to say. At this moment, The fourth elder of the Hell sect looked at Xiao Changtian and said slowly, "If you dare to attack our Hell sect, then stay here forever." At this moment, Xiao Changtian heard the fourth elder of the Hell sect's words and was a little dumbfounded. This brain has problems, this is not contagious, right? This guy didn't say anything when he charged at him just now. He couldn't just defend himself. At this moment, the fourth elder also rushed towards Xiao Changtian. The moment the fourth elder attacked, some people present also closed their eyes. The fourth elder was a golden immortal, and Xiao Changtian looked very young. How could he be a match for the fourth elder? In some people's eyes, Xiao Changtian was already a dead man. He could only blame it for being expensive. He had offended someone he shouldn't have. Everyone present knew that Mo Xian was fourth elder's disciple. Xiao Changtian had slapped Mo Xian just now. Wasn't this a slap to fourth elder's face? At this time, Han Feng also said to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, do you need help?" Han Feng didn't know Xiao Changshan's cultivation level, so he asked with concern. As Han Feng spoke, the head of the Mo family also stared at him slowly. It seemed that the Mo family head would stop Han Feng once he made a move. Xiao Changtian slowly responded after hearing Han Feng's words. "This old man is so unreasonable. What if I hurt him?" This old man was as thin as a stick, yet he still wanted to attack him. If she attacked him, he would hurt his waist or something. What should he do? After Han Feng heard Xiao Changshan's casual words, he heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. It seemed that Senior had a well-thought-out plan. He did not have to worry too much. The head of the Mo family sneered when he heard Xiao Changshan's words. This Xiao Changtian really knew how to brag. Even Lord Hellfire had never said such arrogant words, fearing that he would hurt the fourth elder. Did he think that he was stronger than Lord Hellfire? The fourth elder was furious when he heard Xiao Changshan's words. "Brat, you're courting death." After shouting at Xiao Changtian, the fourth elder also came to Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian looked at the fourth elder in front of him. This old man was really speechless. Then, he made a defensive gesture. Bang! The fourth elder slapped Xiao Changshan's arms. Then, almost everyone watched in disbelief. The fourth elder's figure fell backward with a whoosh. Bang! The fourth elder's body fell to the ground with a loud sound. At the same time, Xiao Changtian slowly removed his arm. Wow! This old man was definitely scamming him. He didn't do anything, so how could he fall? Chapter 553, You Won't Get Any Benefits From Me, 1, edited by Bexenville. CM Saint Spirit Sky, Hell Gate. The crowd around Xiao Changtian looked at him in shock. The fourth elder of the Hell sect was defeated by a single punch. At this time, Xiao Changtian also slowly said to the people around him, "Everyone saw it just now. This old man fell to the ground alone. I didn't do anything." Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, everyone present looked at his smile and slowly nodded. What a joke. Who would dare to provoke Xiao Changtian now? The person who could defeat the fourth elder would have to punch him. He had no choice but to meet Hades. At this moment, fourth elder also slowly stood up from the ground. Looking at Xiao Changtian, his eyes were filled with hatred. When his palm hit Xiao Changshan's arms, fourth elder suddenly felt the surrounding space power tearing him apart. His body couldn't take it and fell to the ground. I didn't expect you to have some skills. At this moment, the fourth elder wiped the corner of his mouth and said to Xiao Changtian slowly. Xiao Changtian heard the fourth elder's words and said slowly, I've seen too many of your tricks. That's right. In his previous life, he had seen at least 800 reports of these scammers. The most exaggerated thing was that some people even took the initiative to go on the road to scam people. If the car hadn't stopped, she would have been gone. This old man's trick was too crude. As Xiao Changshan's words fell, the fourth elder also smiled. Is that so? Then I'll show you something you haven't seen. Xiao Changtian was also a little confused when he heard the fourth elder's words. Again? No, why was this old man so persistent? Most importantly, he didn't have money. Why would he do that? As he thought about this, Xiao Changtian slowly said to the fourth elder, "Old man, don't waste your time. You won't get anything from me." Provoke. A blatant provocation. When the fourth elder heard about Xiao Changtian, he couldn't help but feel angry. Then, the fourth elder charged at Xiao Changtian again. "Fourth bro, what are you doing?" At this moment, a voice slowly sounded. When this voice sounded, the fourth elder also stopped in his tracks. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice and saw Hellfire and Sanji. He was walking towards them. Seeing the Hellfire walk over, everyone present lowered their heads. It had to be said that Hellfire's reputation in Hell Town was quite high. Seeing fourth elder stop, Xiao Changtian heaved a sigh of relief. When he saw Hellfire walking over, he walked over and patted him on the shoulder. "Thank you." Finally, there was someone who could take charge. Otherwise, that old man would have insisted on scamming him. He really didn't know what to do. Seeing Xiao Changtian patting the Hellfire on the shoulder, everyone looked at him. Did this guy think that he could do whatever he wanted after defeating the fourth elder? Do you know who's standing in front of him? That's Hellfire. The only celestial king in Hell Town. If he used the Hellfire, Xiao Changtian would be burned to ashes. The head of the Mo family was a little worried when he saw fourth elder being defeated. However, Xiao Changtian was still so rude to him when he saw the Hellfire. Fortunately, the heavens were still looking out for him. This guy actually took the initiative to provoke Lord Hellfire. However, Xiao Changshan's ashes didn't happen. Then, everyone saw that the Hellfire didn't show any anger when Xiao Changtian patted it. Instead, he smiled at Xiao Changtian and said, "Senior, I finally see you. Do you know that if you didn't come, I would have gone to look for you?" Hearing Hellfire's words, everyone was stunned. What was going on? Why did it seem like this guy was very familiar with Lord Hellfire? Not only everyone present, even Xiao Changtian himself was stunned. "Wait, do I know you?" Although he had just thanked him for helping him, it was too sudden. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the Hellfire was not angry. He slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "Senior's culinary skills are so strong." Hearing the Hellfire's words, Xiao Changtian slowly understood. So he admired his cooking skills. Then, Xiao Changtian slowly said to the Hellfire, "I only know a few dishes. It's not worth mentioning." The Hellfire nodded at Xiao Changtian. Then, the Hellfire slowly walked up to the fourth elder. The fourth elder's back was already covered in cold sweat. When the Hellfire had appeared, he had thought that the Hellfire was going to help him. However, when he saw how familiar the Hellfire and Xiao Changtian were, his mood fell to the bottom. This Mo family had really screwed him over. Seeing the flames in the Hellfire's eyes, the fourth elder immediately knelt down. This was the sign of the Hellfire's anger. With his immortal king strength, he clearly knew what was happening here. At this moment, Xiao Changtian also came to the side of the Hellfire. "Do you know this old man? He should have encountered some difficulties, but he can't come out to scam people. Take a look and see if you can help." When the Hellfire heard Xiao Changshan's words, the flames in his eyes slowly dissipated. "This is one of our chefs. He just bumped into you here," the Hellfire said slowly after hearing Xiao Changshan's words. Xiao Changtian nodded slowly after hearing the Hellfire's words. So he was a chef. No wonder he wanted to come out to scam people. After all, in the cultivation world, those cultivators were all fasting. Chef's treatment would not be any better. As he thought about this, Xiao Changtian said to the Hellfire, "It's not easy for the old man either. You have to tell him properly." The Hellfire nodded at Xiao Changtian. "Fourth brother, since Senior said so, I'll teach you what to do. The fourth elder looked at Xiao Changtian gratefully when he heard the Hellfire's words. Thank you, senior. Xiao Changtian sighed in his heart when he saw the gratitude in the fourth elder's eyes. Sigh, it wasn't easy for this old man. Then, the Hellfire slowly said to Xiao Changtian, Senior, I was a little late just now. Why don't we go in and talk? Xiao Changtian nodded at the Hellfire. After Xiao Changtian and the Hellfire left, the fourth elder slowly walked towards Mo Xian and the Mo family. Chapter 554, Immortal One. Usually, I feed the tortoise in the courtyard uttered by Bexenville. CM Saint Spirit Sky, Hell Gate. After Xiao Changtian left with the Hellfire, the fourth elder came to the Mo family. Fourth elder, the relationship between you and our Mo family. The head of the Mo family looked at the fourth elder and said with a fearful expression. When fourth elder heard the words of the Mo family head, he also slapped him. Who has anything to do with your Mo family? Bang! After being slapped by the fourth elder, the Mo family head was sent flying. Master, you can't do this. Seeing his father being sent flying, Mo Xian also came to fourth elder. And you piece of trash, almost killed me. Upon seeing Mo Xian, fourth elder was also furious. He gathered the true essence in his hand. A palm landed on the top of Mo Xian's head. Bang! For a moment, Mo Xian's head exploded in front of everyone. Blood splattered everywhere. When the people present saw the situation the Mo family was in, they did not step forward to help. If they wanted to blame someone, they could only blame the Mo family for offending someone they shouldn't have. Soon, under the fourth elder's care, the Mo family members were either dead or injured. After today, the Mo family was completely wiped out from Hell Town. The people present looked at Han Feng, and their eyes began to become flattering. Some of the cultivators who stood closer to Han Feng gave him their treasures. Han Feng felt the changes in the people around him and sighed in his heart. This was all the credit of the seniors. Han Feng naturally knew that these people were fawning over him because of Xiao Changtian. Han Feng could imagine what kind of heights the Han family would reach because he had chosen the right side. The Hellfire was so polite to Xiao Changtian. It was no longer a dream for the Han family to become Hell Town's #1 family. Thinking of this, Han Feng was also excited. Seeing that senior and his daughter were in a bad relationship, he would go back and ask Yu Er to take the initiative. Perhaps the future of the Han family was not just this. Xiao Changtian followed the Hellfire to the back of the pavilion. The Hellfire and Xiao Changtian entered the same room. After sitting down in the room, Hellfire said to Xiao Changtian, May I know your name, senior? Xiao Changtian heard what Hell said and said slowly, Xiao Changtian, may I know your name? Hellfire. When the Hellfire heard Xiao Changshan's words, he didn't care about his status. Hellfire. Xiao Changtian was delighted when he heard the Hellfire's words. Wasn't he looking for a chef? With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian confirmed with the Hellfire, You're the chef in this town. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the Hellfire burst into laughter. I don't dare to be a chef. Compared to senior, I'm far inferior. The Hellfire was speaking from the bottom of his heart. Why would he be so polite to Xiao Changtian? A large part of the reason was because Xiao Changshan's culinary skills had conquered him. In the eyes of the Hellfire, who would dare to call themselves a chef in front of Xiao Changtian? Hearing the Hellfire's words, Xiao Changtian clapped his hands. It was really easy to find. After coming here, he happened to encounter the Hellfire. This way, he wouldn't have to participate in the God of Cookery competition. At this moment, Xiao Changtian said to the Hellfire, Hellfire, I have a job for you. Are you interested? How about following me to the island and becoming a chef? We don't have to cook especially well. We can communicate with each other if we don't understand. Also, food and accommodation are included. Xiao Changtian looked at the hellfire with a confident smile on his face. From the way he came to this small town, he could tell that the chefs here were not treated well. When he went to the first-grade Xiangxiang restaurant, he didn't know what the pot in the kitchen looked like. And that old man just now, if it wasn't for the fact that he couldn't make a living, he would have come to scam her. Thus, Xiao Changtian believed that the hellfire would definitely accept his conditions. When the hellfire heard Xiao Changshan's words, it was enraged. As the ruler of Hell Town for many years, Xiao Changtian was the first person who dared to speak to him like this. He wanted her to be his cook. Now, there might not even be any dregs left. Hellfire forced a smile and said to Xiao Changtian, "What can you teach me?" Originally, the hellfire had planned to let Xiao Changtian stay here to be its chef. Now, she wanted to be his cook. Hearing the hellfire's words, Xiao Changtian slowly said to him, "There are so many things. I can teach you anything, such as roasted lobster, the 8 immortals crossing the sea, and carp leaping over the dragon gate." In order to make the hellfire cook for him, Xiao Changtian also said some awesome names. Actually, Xiao Changtian knew how to do these things. It was just that those people in his previous life had too good of an imagination to give them such a cool name. When Hellfire heard Xiao Changshan's words, he was also shocked. "Lobster? Senior, are you referring to the race from the sky of demons?" There were also carps leaping over the dragon gate and 8 immortals crossing the sea. He had never heard of them. With this thought in mind, the hellfire slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "Who exactly are you?" Those who could say such words were either fools or had absolute confidence in their own strength. After all, if these things were to reach the ears of the people from the demon spirit sky, they would be able to kill him. Xiao Changtian would be hunted down by them. And from the perspective of the hellfire, Xiao Changtian belonged to the latter. Xiao Changtian shrugged at the hellfire's words. "I'm just a mortal. I usually feed turtles in the courtyard when one have nothing to do, don't worry, you won't lose your job." Xiao Changtian knew what the hellfire was worried about. As a chef, he was most worried that no one would want to cook for him. This was especially true for those immortal cultivators who were already fasting. He could chase chef away at any time. However, he was a mortal, and the people on the island all had to eat. At this moment, Xiao Changtian also placed the chaos ant on his shoulder on his palm. "Look, this is my pony. Do you want to be a chef here?" Afraid that the hellfire wouldn't believe him, Xiao Changtian also took out the chaos ant. After hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the infernal flame saw the chaos ant in Xiao Changshan's palm. His heart shook, and then he felt dizzy whoosh. 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 Accompanied by the sound of a gust of wind whistling past. The hellfire also found itself in a spiritual world. And his body could not help but transform into his original body. It turned into a ball of flames and stopped in this space. Then, the chaos ant's body appeared in front of the hellfire with a spatial storm. Chapter 555, Treasure Pill Heaven, 1, uttered by Baxenville. CM Saint Spirit Sky, Hell Gate. The hellfire looked at the chaos ants in front of it, and its eyes were filled with panic. Under the assault of the spatial storm, the hellfire was so small in this spiritual world. "Senior Chaos Ant, I didn't mean to offend you. It is my honor to be able to follow Senior." The hellfire looked at the chaos ant and said slowly to him. It wasn't because of the pressure from the chaos ants. He saw that even the primal chaos ant was following Xiao Changtian and worshipping him as its master. If they followed Xiao Changtian, they might have a chance to evolve. He was a ball of immortal fire. He had thought that the next stage would be far away, but now, there was suddenly hope. If he followed Xiao Changtian, he might be able to enter the next stage, Flame of Primal Chaos. With Xiao Changshan's skills, it was a blessing to be able to learn from him. When the chaos ant heard the hellfire's sincere voice, its body changed. Then, the hellfire saw pieces of space debris fly up from the ground. The surroundings changed, and the hellfire found itself back in reality. All of this happened in a matter of seconds to the outside world. Looking at Xiao Changtian in front of him, the hellfire slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "Senior, I'm willing to go with you." Xiao Changtian wasn't surprised by the hellfire's words. "Welcome to join us." At this moment, Xiao Changtian also went over to hug the hellfire. Then, he took out a recipe book from his arm. This recipe book was also given to him by the system previously. It recorded all kinds of cooking methods. "Take this recipe book. If there's anything you don't understand, you can ask me." Hellfire took the recipe from Xiao Changtian and flipped to the first page. His hands were trembling. Could this be the legendary heaven and earth recipe? Using heaven and earth as a furnace, gathering all the fire in heaven and earth to obtain the delicacies of heaven and earth. As a veteran food lover and chef, Hellfire was extremely eager to read this heaven and earth recipe. Previously, he had sent people to investigate many times, but there were no results. Now that it was in Xiao Changshan's hands, one could imagine how excited he was. "Senior, this is too precious." Hellfire didn't expect that Changtian would give him such a precious thing. If he could make the dishes on it himself. Not to mention eating those dishes, his cultivation would improve a lot during the process of making them. "Just take it. How can a chef not have a recipe? Learn well. There will be many more recipes like this in the future." Xiao Changtian waved his hand at the hellfire as he spoke. This chef's life was really bitter. This was the simplest recipe. He could probably find it in any shop on the street. He didn't expect the chef to be so excited when he saw it. At this moment, Xiao Changtian patted the hellfire's shoulder. When the hellfire heard Xiao Changshan's name, he was excited once again. Xiao Changtian still had a lot of such recipes. Then, he followed behind Xiao Changtian. Looking at Xiao Changshan's back, his eyes were filled with determination. In the future, he would definitely work hard with his senior and strive to obtain other recipes. Walking out of the pavilion, Xiao Changtian said to the hellfire, "Hellfire, you'll be leaving now. You can take care of the things here first. I'm at the Han family's residence. After you're done, just go there and find me." Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the hellfire nodded. Then, he sent Xiao Changtian out of the Hell sect. After Xiao Changtian left, the hellfire said to the disciples of the Hell sect beside him, "How's the Han family now?" When the disciples of the infernal sect heard the hellfire's words, they also reported to him, "Sect master, after Mo Xian became fourth elder's disciple a while ago, the Han family was suppressed. However, after the Mo family was suppressed by the fourth elder today, the Han family should be rising." Hellfire wasn't too concerned about the situation in Hell Town. However, he was still very good at gathering information. After hearing his disciples' report, the hellfire slowly said to him, "Tell fourth brother that he knows what to do." After hearing the hellfire's words, the disciples of the underworld sect also flashed and went to carry out the order. At the same time, in a space in the Saint Spirit sky, Chen Yang's figure slowly stood in front, and behind him were a few cultivators in gorgeous clothes. A pill furnace was displayed on the clothes of the cultivators, and their bodies were accompanied by waves of fragrance. Unsurprisingly, these few people were alchemists from Treasure Pill Heaven. It was the most prestigious profession in the human realm upon heavens. Every alchemist was in existence that could call the wind and summon the rain in heavens beyond. Not to mention that several alchemists had appeared at once. At this moment, Chen Yang looked at the few alchemists behind him and said to them flatteringly, "Milords, the sacred spirit sky is just ahead. The hellfire is right there." A man heard Chen Yang's words and nodded at him. "Good job. We will help you fulfill your promise." They had followed Chen Yang here because their master had encountered trouble while refining pills and lacked a powerful flame. Under the old man's instructions, these people also planned to go to the Saint Spirit sky to capture the hellfire. With the strength of the hellish flames, their master would be able to succeed in refining the pill without even saying anything. At this moment, they bumped into Morning Sun, who had been kicked out of Hell's Gate. Chen Yang communicated with them and volunteered to lead the way for them. When the few alchemists saw that someone wanted to lead the way for them, they were naturally extremely happy. Chen Yang looked at the Saint Spirit sky in front of him with a resentful gaze. Hellfire, Leng Xiaoxiao, both of you will die. After saying this in his heart, Chen Yang brought a few alchemists to the Saint Spirit sky. As he slowly arrived at Hell Town, Chen Yang's figure landed in front of Hell's Gate. Chen Yang, what are you doing back here? The fourth elder of the Hell sect was about to go out to see if the Han family needed his help. When he saw Chen Yang appear in the Hell Gate, he said slowly to him. It was no secret that Chen Yang was chased away by the Hellfire last time. Chen Yang smiled at the fourth elder of the Hell sect. It's not that I want to come, but that the lords want to see the Hellfire. As he spoke, Chen Yang also took a step to his side. A few alchemists appeared behind him. The fourth elder's pupils shrank when he saw the clothes of the people behind Chen Yang. What was this person from Treasure Pill Heaven doing in their Hell sect? Are you refusing a toast only to drink a forfeit? Chapter 556, He Deserved This End, 1, uttered by Bexenville. CM Saint Spirit Sky, Hell Gate. The fourth elder of the Hell sect looked at the few alchemists in front of him and smiled at him. You have come from afar to our Hell sect. Please come in. The fourth elder could sense that these alchemists were at the perfected immortal realm. They were not even as good as him, but he was still polite to them. It was not because of anything else, but because the appeal of an alchemist was too terrifying. As long as they wanted to, they could definitely gather a large number of cultivators to work for them. It was said that the alchemists of Treasure Pill Heaven were all accompanied by a Tao protector. Hearing the fourth elder of the Hell sect's words, the few alchemists did not stand on ceremony. He walked straight to the gate of Hell and glanced at it. Hellfire really wasted so many resources. What's with the god of cookery competition? Don't you know that immortal cultivators can abstain from eating? When he spoke, the alchemist did not care at all. At this moment, a ball of flames flew across the sky, and the figure of Hellfire appeared in front of them. As the figure of the Hellfire appeared, the pressure of an immortal king was faintly released. Which pill refiner are you subordinates of? Why have you come to my Hell sect? Hearing the Hellfire's words, an alchemist slowly said to him, My name is Su Lei, and my master is Pill Soul Heaven. These are my fellow disciples, Su Lei, Su Feng, and Su Dian. As he spoke, Su Lei looked at the expression on the Hellfire's face, and his eyes began to burn. And we don't have any other purpose for coming here. It's just that my master feels that it would be a waste if he doesn't use the heaven and earth immortal flame to concoct pills. We've specially asked our fellow disciples to invite Darren over to reminisce about the past. The strength that the Hellfire had just displayed had already made Su Lei and the others feel that their trip here had definitely not been in vain. The aura of the Hellfire before seemed to be even stronger than when they saw him before. In this way, his master would definitely be satisfied if he brought him back. As the sound of Su Lei's voice faded, the faces of the members of the underworld sect turned ashen. It seemed that this group of people did not come with good intentions. When the Hellfire heard Su Lei and the others' words, it burst into laughter. I'm very interested in what makes you genuine immortals so arrogant in the Hell sect. As he spoke, flames rose from the Hellfire's body. Two huge flaming hands formed behind the Hellfire. Following which, he charged towards Su Lei and the others. Let me teach the Pill Soul sect how to respect others. The Hellfire recognized the Pill Soul Sky as one of the giants of the Treasure Pill Sky. A figure whose name shook the heavens. Hellfire, don't be so anxious. Bullying the weak isn't a good thing. A voice suddenly sounded from inside the Hell Gate. Then, a huge lightning net blocked the Hellfire's flaming hand. As the giant flaming hand and the lightning net dissipated, everyone saw an old man standing in front of Su Lei and the others. Elder Fei. When this old man appeared, Su Lei and the others also bowed to him. The hellfire looked at the old man in front of him and narrowed his eyes. Fei Lei, I didn't expect you to still be alive. Fei Lei laughed at him after hearing the hellfire's words. Back then, I lost to you, but fortunately, I received the Pill Pavilion Master's help. Today, you won't be able to leave. Fei Lei looked at the hellfire in front of him with a walking stick in his hand. Below the crutch, there were bolts of lightning swimming like snakes. Is that so? Although you and I are in the same realm, I was able to defeat you in the past, and it will be the same today. Fei Lei shook his head when he heard the hellfire's words. Then, the space around him fluctuated. An old woman slowly appeared in the gate of hell. I didn't expect you to come, Lightning Tomb. Hellfire looked at the old woman in front of him and said solemnly. Fei Lei and Electric Tomb were a famous duo in the human realm upon heavens. Not only were the two of them powerful, but they had also reached the immortal king realm. Their cooperation was something countless cultivators could not compare to. It was said that when they worked together, even immortal emperors would have to temporarily avoid them. The old woman held a mirror in her hand and looked at the hellfire in front of her. 10 years ago, when I wasn't around, Fei Lei was defeated by you. Naturally, we came to get back at you. Cut the crap and come with us. This way, perhaps you can still protect your hell sect. As she spoke, the old woman pointed the mirror in her hand at the sky. Immediately, dark clouds gathered above the gate of hell. Lightning flashed and thunder rumbled, as if a lightning tribulation was about to descend. Boom! 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 Thunder boomed in the air. Xiao Changtian, who was about to go to the Han family, heard the thunder in the air and complained. The weather is really unpredictable. It's better to go back and ask for protection from the hellfire. As he thought about this, Xiao Changtian slowly walked towards the hell gate. Meanwhile, in the hell gate, the hellfire's eyes were burning with flames, and there were already a few charred spots on its body. Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb, who were opposite him, looked at him coldly. The hellfire looked down at Su Lei and Su Feng, and a cold glint appeared in its eyes. During the battle, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb already had the advantage. In addition, they constantly provided various medicinal pills. He would be subdued by them sooner or later. With this thought in mind, the hellfire's figure also changed. Ever-changing. As the sound of his voice faded, the hellfire transformed into a giant flaming python, letting out a series of shrieks at Su Lei and the others. Then, he wanted them to attack. Struggle before death. Fei Lei saw through the hellfire's intentions and said slowly. They were now the Tao protectors of Su Lei and the others, so they naturally wouldn't let the hellfire harm them. His figure flashed, blocking the path of the hellfire. Next, it was entangled with the hellish flames, and the Electric Tomb looked at the hellish flames from the side. The mirror in his hand reflected the hellfire's body, and then a bolt of lightning struck the hellfire. Bang! The hellfire was struck by the heavenly lightning and fell to the ground. Then, he slowly transformed into his human form. Cough! 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 The hellfire coughed and looked at Fei Lei and the Lightning Tomb with a cold gaze. Hellfire, you are a heaven and earth immortal flame. But it's a pity that he wasted such a great talent. He's not doing his job properly and is holding some god of cooking competition. He deserved to end up like this. When the hellfire heard Fei Lei's words, it burst into laughter. Don't talk to me about great principles. The cooking skills are also in the way, don't look down on people. As he spoke, flames rose from the hellfire's body again. Chapter 557, Xiao Changtian arrives, 1, uttered by Bexenville. CM Saint Spirit Sky, Hell Gate flames rose from the hellfire's body as he raised his hands. Then, the immortal flames on his body transformed in the air. Incinerate the world. The immortal flames transformed into rings of fire that shot toward Fei Lei, Lightning Tomb, and the others. This guy is crazy. Fei Lei cursed under his breath when he saw the Hellfire's actions. Stop him together. The electric tomb looked at the hellish flames that were emitting scorching heat, and its expression was solemn. The dark clouds in the sky gradually dissipated due to the eruption of the hellish flames. This hellfire was going all out. If a celestial king were to fight with his life on the line, the power he could unleash would give her and Fei Lei a headache. The hellish flames were immortal flames that were automatically born in the world. If he really wanted to go all out, then the power he could unleash would only be stronger than other immortal kings. Then, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb both attacked the hellfire. 10,000 lightning surge. Fei Lei arrived above the hellfire. His eyes flashed with lightning as he put his palms together in front of his chest. Then, ferocious beasts condensed from lightning appeared behind Fei Lei. Roar! 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 The thunder beast formed by Fei Lei roared at the hellfire. Then, it attacked him. Lightning Tomb also came to the other side of the hellish flames and injected his true essence into his mirror. Thunder God descends. Bang! As soon as the Lightning Tomb finished speaking, the mirror in his hand emitted a light. Then, a giant holding a giant hammer appeared in front of the hellfire. Bang! 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 The hellish flame collided with the thunder beast and Thor's hammer. Huge waves were created in the entire gate of hell. The towers in the Hell Pavilion collapsed one by one because of their outburst. At the same time, Xiao Changtian, who was planning to go to the gate of hell, heard a loud noise coming from the sky. He looked up at the sky and muttered, "It looks like it's going to rain heavily today. The thunder is really loud." As he said that, Xiao Changtian sped up his pace towards the gate of hell. Inside the hell gate, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb looked at the dying hellfire in front of them. "You lost. Hellfire, come with us. The pavilion master will save you." When the hellfire heard Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb's words, it also raised its head to look at the two people in front of it. Hee, the feeling just now was not good, right? Fei Lei clenched his fists when he heard the hellfire's words. In his palm, there was a black piece that had been burnt by the flames. "Hellfire, I admit that as a heaven and earth immortal flame, you are very powerful. However, the truth is that you have lost." At this moment, Su Lei and the other three arrived before the hellfire. Su Lei held a stove in his hand and said slowly to Fei Lei, "Elder Fei, let me take him in." As he spoke, Su Lei looked at the hellish flames in front of him with a burning gaze. As long as he captured the hellfire, if his master was happy, he would give him more guidance or resources. In that case, his status in the sect would not be able to rise quickly in the future. At this moment, Su Lei began to imagine his future. As for the hellfire, it looked at the furnace that Su Lei had brought out and let out a cold laugh. "That old fellow from the Pill Soul Sky is really determined to get me. Senior, I'm afraid I can't be your chef anymore." At this moment, the hellfire looked up at the sky and said. At this moment, Su Lei also aimed the furnace in his hand at the hellfire. "Hellfire, can you give me an umbrella?" At this moment, a voice slowly sounded from the hell gate. Upon hearing this voice, everyone present looked towards the entrance of the hell's gate. At this time, who was not afraid of death? Su Lei looked at Xiao Changtian, who was slowly walking over, and scanned his body. There was no aura at all. Mortals. When the hellfire saw Xiao Changtian, a glimmer of hope appeared in his eyes. "Senior, did you feel that you were in danger and came back to save yourself?" With this thought in mind, the hellfire waved at Xiao Changtian. "Senior, I'm here." "Hellfire, do you think a mortal can give you hope? Calling a mortal a senior is truly laughable. Let me end your hopes." Su Lei looked at the hellfire and laughed. Previously, in front of the hellfire, the difference in strength was so great that it could not do anything to him. Now that he had a mortal, he could use him to vent his anger. As he spoke, a spiritual light shot out from Su Lei's fingertip and attacked Xiao Changtian. Bang! The spiritual light pierced through layers of void space and instantly arrived in front of Xiao Changtian. At this moment, the chaos ant on Xiao Changshan's shoulder also emitted a white light. Whoosh! The spiritual light disappeared in front of Xiao Changtian. At this moment, Xiao Changtian had also arrived in front of the hellfire and Su Lei. Hellfire, what's wrong? You don't look too good. Xiao Changtian ignored Su Lei and went to the side of the hellfire. At this moment, Su Lei looked at Xiao Changtian with a surprised expression. With his true immortal strength just now, he actually did not cause any harm to him. With this thought in mind, Su Lei decided to attack Xiao Changtian again. Looking at Xiao Changtian in front of him, the true essence in Su Lei's body fluctuated again. A ray of spiritual light flashed on his fingertip again, and he attacked Xiao Changshan's back. Xiao Changtian had just picked up the hellfire from the ground. Su Lei watched as the spiritual light was about to hit Xiao Changshan's back, and Xiao Changtian had yet to put up any defense. The corners of his mouth curled into a smile. The chaos ant was on Xiao Changshan's shoulder, and its two antennae were glowing. Whoosh! A silver light flashed across the chaos ant's body, and the spiritual light that Su Lei had cast disappeared. This scene was also captured by Su Lei and the others. At this moment, not only Su Lei, but even Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb squinted their eyes at Xiao Changtian. Xiao Changtian turned around at this moment and said slowly to the hellfire, "Who are these people?" Seeing Xiao Changshan's serious expression, Su Lei slowly said to Xiao Changtian, "Who exactly are you?" Xiao Changtian was also stunned when he heard Su Lei's words. He slowly said to Su Lei, "I came to hellfire. He's my chef now." Then, Xiao Changtian looked at the hellfire who had recovered a little. "Hellfire, do you have an umbrella?" Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Su Lei also understood. It turned out that they were the same as him. They were here to smash his place and snatch his people. No wonder he was so arrogant. Chapter 558, None of you can take me away. 1. Saint Spirit Sky, Hell Gate. Su Lei looked at Changtian and slowly said, "So you want to snatch her from me? Why don't you take a look at the person standing in front of you?" Xiao Changtian frowned when he heard Su Lei's words. It turned out that this person was the same as him. He wanted to snatch the hellfire from him. Thinking about it, it made sense. It would be strange if no one wanted a free chef like hellfire. With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian walked to Su Lei's shen and said slowly, "Do you provide food and accommodation? How much is your monthly salary?" As he spoke, Xiao Changtian also leaned towards Su Lei. Following Xiao Changshan's footsteps, Su Lei's footsteps followed behind him. The chaos ant on Xiao Changshan's shoulder also emitted a silver light. The spiritual light that Su Lei had just released had quietly appeared behind him. Bang! The spiritual light struck Su Lei's body, causing him to stagger and fall to the ground. At this moment, Su Lei looked at Xiao Changtian with fear in his eyes. As Xiao Changtian walked towards him, Su Lei felt the space around him fluctuating. At this moment, Su Lei slowly said to Fei Lei and the electric tomb, "Elders, help me." In his perception, Xiao Changtian was just a mortal. However, Xiao Changtian acted as if nothing had happened. Su Lei no longer had the confidence he had at the start. He said slowly to Fu Lei and the electric tomb. Hearing Su Lei's words, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb also came to Xiao Changtian. "Fellow Taoist, what do you mean?" Although they were all immortal kings, when Xiao Changtian appeared, just like Su Lei, they couldn't see through the changes in Xiao Changshan's body. There was clearly no aura on his body, but Su Lei was right in front of him. However, he was like a baby, completely unable to resist. Looking at Fei Lei and the lightning tomb who had suddenly appeared in front of him, Xiao Changtian slowly said to them, "I'm just a mortal. I don't cultivate, so I can't be considered a fellow Taoist. You're the one who wants to snatch the hellfire from me, right? Tell me, what are your conditions?" At this moment, Xiao Changtian didn't treat them politely. He had traveled thousands of miles to this place and finally found a chef he liked. It had only been a short while, and someone was already trying to poach him. How could Xiao Changtian endure this? Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb exchanged glances. Then, he said to Xiao Changtian, "We have no conditions. We must take the hellfire with us." Take away the hellfire, the order given to them by the Pill Soul Sky. No matter what, they had to take the hellfire away today. Hearing Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb's words, Xiao Changtian understood. It turned out that these two people wanted to take advantage of him for free. They turned around and glanced at the hellfire. Xiao Changtian seemed to have understood something. He slowly said to the hellfire, "Hellfire, did you just fight with them?" The hellfire nodded at Xiao Changtian. Seeing the hellfire nod, Xiao Changtian confirmed his thoughts. No wonder when he first arrived, he saw that the hellfire was not in a good state. So it turned out that someone wanted to have sex for free. Looking at the clothes on these guys, it was the kid who had just spoken to him. It was obvious that they were the children of powerful families. These two old men should be butlers or something. He thought that they wanted to compete with him fairly. So he wanted to snatch her away just because his family had some power. With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian didn't waste any words and said to Fei Lei and the electric tomb slowly, "Don't think that I'm afraid just because there's someone behind you. The hellfire is my chef, and none of you can take it away." If the other party were to provide better treatment to the hellfire, he would have nothing to say. But now that hellfire was a chef, it was already difficult for him to find a way out. He had just become his chef, so he had to protect him well. Hearing Xiao Changshan's domineering words, Fei Lei also stepped forward and said to Xiao Changtian slowly, "Although I don't know who you are, you can't stop me today." Celestial kings were considered the top existences in the entire human realm upon heavens. There wasn't a single celestial king who didn't have a name in the human realm upon heavens. Although Xiao Changtian was a little strange in Fei Lei's eyes, he was unfamiliar. He definitely hadn't reached the immortal king realm. Even if it was an immortal king, Fei Lei was not worried because he had the lightning tomb by his side. Looking at Fei Lei in front of him, Xiao Changtian also swept his gaze up and down. This old man was holding a walking stick in his hand. He looked like he was about to be buried. Could it be that he still wanted to make a move against him? With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian slowly said to Fei Lei, "Old man, take your young masters and leave. You're not my match." As he spoke, Xiao Changtian started to wave his arms. A complete set of Taiji fist was displayed on Xiao Changshan's body. Whoosh! 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 When Xiao Changtian waved his arms, the chaos ants on his shoulders also released a burst of silver light. Standing in front of Xiao Changtian, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb felt like they were brought into a spiritual world by Xiao Changtian. Bang! 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 In the spiritual world, Xiao Changtian kept waving his arms. As Xiao Changtian waved, giant spatial fists flew past them. The spatial power contained in the fist made Fei Lei and Electric Tomb feel waves of fear. This is an immortal emperor. No, he might be even stronger than an immortal emperor. If Fei Lei and the Electric Tomb had any intention of resisting before this, then they would have been killed. Now, they could no longer muster up any thoughts of resistance. They just wanted to escape from the mental world as soon as possible. They might be buried here. Bang! After dodging a few times, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb still couldn't avoid the pursuit of the giant spatial fist. The silver-white fist landed on Fei Lei and Electric Tomb. With a whoosh, the two of them flew out of the spiritual world. In the outside world, Xiao Changtian had also finished practicing his Taiji fist. Looking at Fei Lei in the lightning tomb, Xiao Changtian also glanced at them. These two old men and this group of young masters, he knew them well. Usually, he would bully the weak and fear the strong. He was so afraid just by waving it around. It would be fine if he couldn't bear it, but since he was provoked, he wasn't afraid. Following that, Xiao Changtian slowly walked towards Fei Lei and Dian Mu. Why aren't you leaving? Do you want to be beaten up? Chapter 559, Returning to the Island. 1. Saint Spirit Sky, Hell Gate Lightning Tomb and Fei Lei fell to the ground and had yet to react from their spiritual world. After being hit by the giant spatial fist, they felt as if their bodies were no longer their own. His body and soul seemed to be separated. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, his eyes were filled with fear. Staggering up from the ground, he looked at Su Lei and the others who were already in a daze from fear. Take them away and leave the gate of hell. When Su Lei and the others saw Xiao Changtian performing the Taiji fist, the first thing that came to their minds was the appearance of the sky of Pil Soul. Xiao Changshan's Taiji fist was even more powerful than the sky of Pil Soul's spiritual skill. The few of them looked at Xiao Changtian and knew that they had offended someone they shouldn't have. After Fei Lei and Mu Lei left, Xiao Changtian came to Hellfire's side. She slowly said to him, "Hellfire, are you all right?" The Hellfire shook its head at Xiao Changshan's words. "Senior, I'm almost done." To be honest, when Xiao Changtian had just performed Taiji fist, Hellfire was also shocked by him. He had thought that Xiao Changtian might be very strong, but he didn't expect it to be that strong. It was indeed an existence that could make chaos ants his mounts. His strength was truly terrifying. Xiao Changtian saw that the Hellfire looked good, and it didn't seem like something serious had happened. She patted his shoulder and said slowly, "How's your packing going? Come with me." When the Hellfire heard Xiao Changshan's words, he understood that Xiao Changtian was protecting him. Although Fei Lei and Lightning Grave had already left the gate of hell, there was no guarantee that they would return. Thinking so, the Hellfire looked at Xiao Changtian gratefully. "Senior, let's go." Xiao Changtian heard the Hellfire's words and left with him. Following behind Xiao Changtian, the Hellfire was determined to follow Xiao Changtian well in the future. After Fei Lei and Electric Tomb left the Hell sect with Su Lei and the others, they also left the Saint Soul Sky. When he arrived at the Saint Spirit Sky, he glanced at the Saint Spirit Sky behind him. Fei Lei also had lingering fears. This was the first time Fei Lei felt irresistible. In front of Xiao Changtian, Fei Lei felt that he was just a mortal and didn't have the qualifications to fight with him. "It's too scary. He just let us go because he's obviously not worried that we'll leak the news." Lightning Tomb looked at the Saint Soul Sky and said slowly to Fei Lei, "I'm afraid that person can rival the Pavilion Master. We should go back and report to the Pavilion Master." Fei Lei voiced his thoughts after hearing the Electric Tomb's words. At this moment, a figure slowly appeared beside Fei Lei and Electric Tomb. "Seniors, please bring along the big men." Hearing this voice, Fu Lei and Lightning Grave also looked over. Chen Yang had already arrived by their side. Fei Lei frowned when he saw Chen Yang. "Why didn't you tell me that there was such a person in the Hell sect?" When Chen Yang heard Fei Lei's words, he panicked. When Fei Lei, the Lightning Tomb, and the Hellfire were fighting, he had already hidden far away. Although he was a golden immortal, in the eyes of the immortal kings, he was just a small figure. If he were to stay by the side, wouldn't he be waiting for death? He didn't even see Xiao Changshan's arrival. With this thought in mind, Chen Yang slowly said to Fei Lei, "Seniors, who are you talking about? Didn't the Hellfire get caught?" With the strength of the two seniors, that Hellfire must have been beaten to the point where it was too afraid to resist. At this moment, Chen Yang also started to flatter Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb. After all, he had been in the Saint Spirit sky for so many years. In the entire Hell sect, there was only one immortal king, Hellfire. It was impossible for them to lose in a 2-6. Now that they were here, it meant that the Hellfire had been subdued. Now, as long as he could get close to her, it would be easy for him to deal with Leng Xiaoxiao and the others. As he thought of this, Qin Yang could not help but smile. Hearing Qin Yang's words, she cooperated with the smile on his face. Fei Lei and the electric tomb looked at each other when they thought about how they were in front of Xiao Changtian. Then, with great tacit understanding, he slapped his palms at Qin Yang. I don't think you dare to resist. He slapped Qin Yang's head from 2 directions. Then, Qin Yang's head exploded in the air. Fei Lei seemed to have not vented his anger yet, and the walking stick in his hand hit Qin Yang's body. Then, Qin Yang's body exploded. This guy was just picking on the sore spot. He was a dignified immortal king. How was he going to survive in the human realm upon heavens in the future? After dealing with Qin Yang, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb didn't stay any longer. With a flash, he brought Su Lei and the others and flew towards Treasure Pill Heaven. At the same time, Xiao Changtian brought the Hellfire to the Han family. After so many years in Hell Town, this was the first time Hellfire had visited the Han family. This made Han Feng feel flattered. Han Feng also instructed the Han family to give them the best service. Xiao Changtian slowly said to Han Feng and Han Yu after the short rest of the Han clan, Old Master Han, I'll have to trouble you to take care of me for a while. I still have some things to do at home, so I won't be staying long. When Han Feng heard that Xiao Changtian was leaving, he didn't say anything. Han Feng also knew that a small Han family would not be able to keep a strong like Xiao Changtian. He just wanted to do his best to help Xiao Changtian. I look forward to Senior's next visit. Alright, I'll definitely come again if there's a chance. After exchanging a few pleasantries with Han Feng, Xiao Changtian slowly left the Han family compound. Seeing the carriage that Han Feng had prepared for him, Xiao Changtian was also very grateful. Then, he left with Leng Xiaoxiao, Lin Ruomiao, and the others. After Han Feng watched Xiao Changtian and the others leave, he said to the disciples of the Han family beside him, Are you sure Lord Hellfire is in Senior's carriage? Patriarch, I just saw with my own eyes that Senior seemed to call Lord Hellfire chef. When he said this, the disciple of the Han family lowered his voice. He was afraid that others would hear him. After all, this was too far-fetched. After Han Feng heard the Han family disciples' words, he looked forward excitedly. That was because the people from first grade fragrance were slowly walking over. B. Chapter 560, Pill Soul Heaven, 1, Divine Realm, 100,000 Mountains. Xiao Changtian slowly arrived at the 100,000 mountains with the Hellfire. When the Hellfire arrived in the divinity, he felt the thin spiritual energy in the world. He said to Xiao Changtian, Senior, do you live here? Xiao Changtian nodded at the Hellfire. Yes, you'll be a chef here in the future. The main hall is being built inside. There are a few hundred people. Then, Xiao Changtian walked to the side of the Hellfire and said slowly, although the environment here is a little simple, you have to endure the hardships to be a better person. While talking, Xiao Changtian patted Hellfire's shoulder. When the Hellfire heard Xiao Changshan's words, its body trembled. Thinking about it, it made sense. There was no one in the entire Saint Spirit sky who was his match anymore, so he had unknowingly relaxed. Senior brought him here to temper himself. The Hellfire thought so and nodded gratefully at Xiao Changtian. Then, under Xiao Changshan's lead, the Hellfire also arrived on the island. Divine King Red Cloud was carrying a red brick in his hand. When he saw Xiao Changtian return, he greeted him. Senior, you're back. Xiao Changtian nodded at Divine King Red Cloud. Following that, he introduced to the Hellfire, this is one of the brick movers here, Hong Yun. This is Hellfire. He will be cooking here from now on. When Divine King Red Cloud heard Xiao Changshan's words, he smiled at the hellfire as a gesture. In the perception of the hellish flames, Divine King Red Cloud was just a weak godly emperor. However, he did not show any fear when he saw her. Then, the hellfire's pupils constricted when he saw the red brick in God King Red Cloud's hand. The brick in this person's hand seemed to be an incredible immortal artifact. Even the electric mirror in the electric tomb's hand seemed to be inferior to his. Looking at Divine King Red Cloud, the hellfire did not have any intention of belittling her. Although Divine King Red Cloud's strength wasn't that great, the person who could pick up such a fairy weapon was a person who was extremely powerful. How could he be an ordinary cultivator? At this moment, Divine King Red Cloud said to Xiao Changtian and the hellfire, "Senior, I'm going to get busy. Elder Zhui is urging me." Xiao Changtian nodded at Divine King Red Cloud. Then, Xiao Changtian brought the hellfire into the kitchen. After entering the kitchen, Xiao Changtian said to the hellfire, "Although this place is a little simple now, the kitchen utensils are still complete. This is where the kitchen knife and pot are usually placed, and this food bucket. In the future, when you finish cooking, put them inside, and then someone will help you distribute them." When the hellfire heard Xiao Changshan's words, it was extremely excited. These were all celestial artifacts, celestial artifacts. If he had brought this kitchen knife with him when he was in the Hell sect, how could that Fei Lei and electric tomb be his match? And this chopping board, this basket. "Senior, can I use these?" Xiao Changtian heard the hellfire's words and said slowly, "Of course, these are all newly made. You can use them to cook in the future." When the hellfire heard Xiao Changshan's words, it also picked up a kitchen knife. She looked at her own face reflected on the blade. At this moment, hellfire felt that coming here was definitely the best decision he had ever made in his life. At this moment, Xiao Changtian also gave an apron to hellfire. Wearing this can also prevent some stains from sticking to your body. Hellfire slowly took the apron from Xiao Changshan's hands and looked at Xiao Changtian with excitement. This was probably a top-notch defensive immortal artifact. Wearing the apron, Hellfire felt that if he were to face a powerhouse of the same level, the other party would definitely not be able to hurt him. At this moment, Xiao Changtian also took some ingredients from the side. Xiao Changtian slowly handed the ingredients to the Hellfire and said, "Hellfire, I'll leave today's food to you." Xiao Changtian slowly left the kitchen. After Xiao Changtian left, Hellfire looked at the kitchen utensils and ingredients in front of him. He also started to do it excitedly. Bao Dantian on top of a small pavilion, an old man had his eyes tightly shut and held a Buddhist duster in his hand. There was also a furnace in front of the old man, and wisps of smoke floated out from them. At this moment, a few streams of light slowly flew over from afar. They landed in front of the small pavilion, revealing the figures of Fu Lei and the electric tomb. Upon seeing the old man in the pavilion, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb brought Su Lei and the other three to the pavilion. "Pavilion Master, the mission failed." Fei Lei's voice slowly entered the old man's ears. Then, the old man opened his eyes and looked at Fei Lei and the electric tomb. He stood up from the ground and slowly said to them, "What happened? Don't tell me that you two celestial kings can't even handle the hellish flames." When he spoke, the old man's voice clearly contained anger. "Pavilion Master, we had already subdued the hellfire. However, an unknown expert came out of nowhere and took the hellfire away from our hands. His cultivation should be at the Imperial Immortal Realm." At this moment, Fei Lei also hurriedly explained to the Pill Soul Sky. When Dan Hun Tian heard Fei Lei's words, he waved the Buddhist duster in his hand. Then, his eyes emitted a golden light as he swept his gaze over Fei Lei. He also saw what Fei Lei had encountered in the Saint Spirit Sky. In the eyes of Dan Hun Tian, Xiao Changtian stood up slowly and kept waving his taiji fist. Bang! In his mind, Xiao Changtian performed Taiji fist and punched at the sky of Pil's soul. Seeing Xiao Changtian punching him in the spiritual world, Dan Hun Tian suddenly felt an unprecedented pressure. Whoosh! He hurriedly retracted the golden light in his eyes. At this moment, Fei Lei fell to the ground and landed in the arms of the electric tomb. Looking down at Fei Lei and lightning tomb, Pil's soul heaven took out a jade bottle from his interspatial ring. He threw it at lightning tomb, who quickly took out a pill from the jade bottle and put it into Fei Lei's mouth. Then, Dan Hun and Tian Yi's voice slowly entered Fei Lei and Dian Mu's ears. I've already understood what happened in the Saint Spirit Sky. Take my token to the Demon Spirit Sky. Old Green Bull, please lend you a hand. Remember, you must bring me the hellfire this time. As soon as he finished speaking, Pil's soul heaven's figure slowly disappeared in front of Fei Lei and lightning tomb. Chapter 561, Demon Spirit Sky, 1, Divine Realm, 100,000 mountains on the island, tables were already set up. On each table, there were all kinds of delicacies. Clearly, these were all the work of the hellfire. Xiao Changtian sat beside the table, looking at the delicious food on the table. He also casually picked up a piece of vegetable and put it into his mouth. Yes. Xiao Changtian let out a light snort as he chewed on the vegetables. It seemed that his trip was not in vain. He was originally worried that he would have to cook for so many people. Hellfire might not have been able to complete it alone, but he did not expect it to be completed on time. Moreover, although this taste could not be compared to the one he made himself, it was still edible. This time, he had really profited from this round. On the table, God King Red Cloud and the others were eating the delicacies made by the hellish flames. He also felt streams of pure energy enter his body. These few days, Xiao Changtian wasn't around, so they didn't eat much. But moving bricks every day, the true essence in his body was also almost exhausted. At this moment, when this energy entered his body, he felt as if his muscles and bones were being cleansed. Senior, this is giving us an opportunity. While they were eating dinner, God King Red Cloud and the others looked at Xiao Changtian with gratitude. Especially Luo Tian and the others, it was their first time helping Xiao Changtian move bricks. At this moment, the joy in his heart was even greater than that of Divine King and the others. After dinner, under Lin Ruomio's arrangements, some people started to pack up. At this time, the hellfire also came to Xiao Changshan's side and said to him slowly, Senior, how was the food today? Is there anything that needs to be improved? Ever since he came to the island, Hellfire was addicted to the kitchen. She spent all day in the kitchen, afraid that she would miss something. When he had nothing to do, he would pick up the heaven and earth recipe that Xiao Changtian had given him. Xiao Changtian looked at the hellish flame on his apron and said slowly, Thank you for your hard work, Hellfire. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the Hellfire was delighted. After receiving Xiao Changshan's guidance, he also made some dishes according to the recipes. Since it was his first time making it, he did not know if it would achieve the effect described in the book. After all, Xiao Changtian had given him all kinds of high-grade immortal medicine. If he wasted it, the Hellfire would feel bad. Then, Xiao Changtian thought of something and said to the Hellfire, Hellfire, do you know where there are more wild beasts? I see that there isn't much left on the island. Xiao Changtian had just left Dayang town not long ago, so he didn't know much about the entire cultivation world. As a chef, Hellfire should know more about this than him. Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, the Hellfire scratched his head. Judging from the ingredients given to him by the senior, Xiao Changtian wanted to eat wild beasts. It probably wasn't the ones from the Demon Spirit Sky, right? With this thought in mind, the Hellfire slowly said to Xiao Changtian, Senior, I do know of a place where there are many wild beasts. Xiao Changtian was delighted when he heard the Hellfire's words. Do you have a map of that place? When Hellfire heard Xiao Changshan's words, he took out a map from his pocket. The map of heavens beyond was not a rare item. Almost every cultivator in the human realm upon heavens could find a map of each realm with a little effort. Of course, there were also detailed and simple maps. The Hellfire was once the supreme ruler of the sacred spirit sky, so it naturally had the most detailed maps of the various realms. Xiao Changtian took the map from Hellfire and looked at the red dot that Hellfire had drawn for him. Then, he slowly said to Futian on the island, "Futian, pack up and go hunting with master." Xiao Changtian stood up from his chair as he spoke. He slowly carried his bamboo basket and looked full of energy. If he continued to build at this speed, he would go out for a while. When he had enough food reserves, the main hall should be completed. With this thought in mind, Xiao Changtian left the 100,000 mountains with Futian. The Hellfire watched Xiao Changtian and Futian leave. He could also foresee the tragic ending of the demon beasts in the demon spirit sky. It was not that he had not thought of capturing those guys from the sky of the demon spirit to cook. It was just that with his strength, if they were to become ruthless, he would not be able to resist either. Thinking back to how Xiao Changtian brought back the demonic beasts from the sky of the evil spirits, Hellfire was excited as well, and he quickly walked towards his kitchen. He picked up the heaven and earth recipe that Xiao Changtian had given him and started reading it slowly. At the same time, on a mountain peak in heaven's beyond, the entire mountain peak emitted an ancient aura. There was a huge lake, and at this time, it was beside the lake. There was an old man with his head lowered, drinking the water in the lake. Meh! 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 At this moment, beside the lake, the green bull also slowly raised its head. He looked in a certain direction in the void. From there, a few streams of light slowly flew towards him. Then, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb slowly arrived in front of the old green bull. Senior. Standing in front of the old green bull, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb also bowed to him. The old green bull casually glanced at Fei Lei and the electric tomb, then slowly said to him, "What are you two doing here?" As he spoke, the old green bull's figure also transformed into an old man. Seeing the old green bull in front of them, Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb also took out the tokens given to them by the Pill's Soul Heaven. Raising the token in his hand, Fei Lei slowly said to the old green bull, "We are here on the orders of the pavilion master to ask for Senior's help." As he spoke, Fei Lei felt nervous. In front of the old green bull, the pressure he felt was no less than the Pill's Soul Heaven, plus it was their territory. Fei Lei felt that although he was an immortal king, his strength was still not enough. When the old green bull saw the token in Fei Lei's hand, he muttered to himself, "That guy from the Pill's Soul Sky actually wants to use this favor? It's a bit strange. Tell me, what does that old man from Pill's Soul Sky want me to do?" As he spoke, the old green bull also picked up the gourd at his waist and slowly took a sip. Following that, Fei Lei and Electric Grave told the old green bull about what they had encountered in the Saint Soul Sky. "Senior, we only need you to trap that unknown expert." When the old green bull heard Fei Lei and the electric tomb, he said to them, "That's simple. You just have to lure him here." Chapter 562, Arriving at Green Bull Mountain, 1, edited by Bexenville. CM Yao Spirit Sky, by the lake. The old green bull stood beside Fei Lei and the electric tomb and said casually. After Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb heard the old green bull's words, they looked at each other. Then, Fei Lei said slowly to the old green bull, "Senior, you know that with our strength." Fei Lei hesitated as he spoke. The old green bull ignored Fei Lei and the electric tomb and threw the gourd in his hand forward. Then, the water in the lake in front of him began to churn. The lake water engulfed Fei Lei and the lightning tomb. "Don't worry, the descendants of our Green Bull Mountain will help you." After Fei Lei and Lightning Tomb left Green Bull Mountain, the old green bull took another sip of wine. An expert of unknown origin. Is there any other powerful existence in the human realm upon heavens? Forget it, it's more important to report to the ancestor. Those guys are getting more and more restless. With this thought in mind, the old green bull's figure flashed and disappeared from the top of the Green Bull Mountain. After Xiao Changtian left the 100,000 mountains with Futian, he looked at the map in his hand. Looking at the road in front of him, the map was different from the one in front of him. This cultivation world was also troublesome. If he had a navigation system in his previous life. No, he had to take a good look. As he thought about this, Xiao Changtian said to Futian, Futian, before Xiao Changtian could finish, he saw Futian holding a goldfish tank. In the goldfish tank, the ancestral dragon was swimming freely. Futian, why did you bring the goldfish out? Hearing Xiao Changshan's words, Futian also said to Xiao Changtian slowly, Master, I was in a hurry when I left just now, so I didn't put senior goldfish back. Seeing the smile on Futian's face, Xiao Changtian shrugged. Since you brought it out, you can watch it carefully. When Futian heard Xiao Changshan's words, he heaved a sigh of relief. In fact, when he heard that Xiao Changtian was going to take him away from the 100,000 mountains, he was also excited. At that time, he was indeed by the ancestral dragon's side. The ancestral dragon had never left with Xiao Changtian. At the ancestral dragon's request, Futian had no choice but to bring him along with Xiao Changtian. At this moment, ancestral dragon, who was in the goldfish tank, said slowly to the chaos ant, Chaos ants, why haven't you brought us over yet? It's not easy for you to come out, so don't rush me. The chaos ant was resting on Xiao Changshan's shoulder. Hearing the ancestral dragon's words, he slowly touched his tentacles. A silver light enveloped Xiao Changtian, Futian, and the others. Following that, Xiao Changtian and the others followed the map given by the Hellfire and arrived at Yifan's demon spirit sky. Xiao Changtian flipped the map in his hand and looked up. That's right. Looking at the fork in front of him, Xiao Changtian suddenly felt that he had found his way. If he walked to the left, he would be in the forest that the Hellfire mentioned. At this moment, Futian was holding a goldfish tank and said to Xiao Changtian, Master, where should we go next? Xiao Changtian heard Futian's words and patted him on the shoulder. Follow me. Xiao Changtian kept the map into his interspatial ring and slowly walked towards Green Bull Mountain. When Xiao Changtian and the others entered the demon spirit sky, they were at the foot of the Green Bull Mountain. In front of Fei Lei and the electric tomb stood a few young men in green clothes. Following that, a young man's hand also flashed with green vital essence. In front of Fei Lei and the lightning tomb, Xiao Changtian appeared. Is this the person you're looking for? Seeing Xiao Changshan's appearance, Fei Lei and lightning tomb instinctively took a step back. After all, in the Saint Spirit sky, the pressure that Xiao Changtian had given them was much greater. Yes, he is. Fei Lei and Electric Tomb didn't expect the Green Ox tribe to find Xiao Changtian so quickly. After all, with Xiao Changshan's strength, he shouldn't have been found so quickly. Thinking of this, Fei Lei and Electric Tomb looked at the Green Bull clan with even more fear. According to the clan leader's orders, you can lead him to the top of the lake. When Fei Lei and Electric Grave heard the words of the man with the green bull, they wanted to say something to them. He saw that they had already walked into the depths of the forest. While Xiao Changtian was on his way to Green Bull Mountain, the ancestral dragon in Futian's hand seemed to have sensed something. Chaos Ant, did you feel it? Someone seemed to be spying on us just now. It's not like it seems. There are already a few old cows in the mountain ahead. It seems pretty good to capture them and let them cultivate the land for their master. As it spoke, the primal chaos ant's voice revealed a hint of excitement. After Xiao Changtian moved to the island, there was no bamboo forest built for him. If he let the old green bull go over to plow the land for him first, Xiao Changtian might make arrangements for him. When Ancestral Dragon heard the chaos ant's words, a golden light slowly rose from his body. It was his first time following Xiao Changtian out, so he naturally had to perform well. Perhaps, once Xiao Changtian was satisfied, he would bring her out more often. When the ancestral dragon released the golden light, the few men in the Green Bull Mountain seemed to sense something. In his eyes, a golden light rapidly enlarged and enveloped them. Everyone, don't panic. The young man in the lead looked at the golden light that was close at hand, and the true essence on his body also emitted. For a moment, the aura of the immortal king also protected the people behind him. However, in front of the golden light, the celestial king's defense was useless. Under the Green Bull man's incredulous gaze, the golden light passed through their bodies. As the golden light flew past them, the aura on their bodies also rapidly decreased. I didn't die. The man with the green bull looked at his hands. He had thought that he would die for sure, but he did not expect to survive. Then, a series of banging sounds came from behind. The man with the green bull turned around and saw the man with the green bull lying on the ground. He said to them, "What happened to you guys?" Then, as if he had sensed something, the man with the green bull cried out loudly. "No, my cultivation, my cultivation." At this moment, the green ox man realized that his cultivation was plummeting. In the end, he fell to the ground with a bang. At the same time, Xiao Changtian brought Futian to Green Bull Mountain. The Green Bull Mountain was right in front of them. Xiao Changtian looked at the Green Bull Mountain in front of him and felt excited. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.